system. From Iron Man, the counteroffensive begins. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 301 Fame. Hey, have you heard that the senior high school sprint class and basic class have a new physics teacher? Not only is he super handsome, but he also teaches very well. On the first day, he gave the students a super cool black tech gift, said to be a holographic projector. Really? Isn't the main task of senior high school students to review and do exercises? Why did they suddenly change teachers? Besides, what the hell is a holographic projector? Hey, can you two stop chatting about nonsense when you walk? If you don't walk faster, the line in the cafeteria will kill you too. Hoo-la-la, lunchtime is 11:30 and it will be 12:30 noon. At this time, all kinds of gossip, hearsay, and rumors are flying around. For the student group, school news is far more attractive than social news, and it is closer to their lives. At this time, Luo Wen had returned to the office from the classroom of the basic class. Teacher Luo, thank you for your hard work. You taught 4 classes in a row on your first day at work. The key is that your students like you so much. I also benefited a lot from listening in from outside. You are really amazing. Haha. Pan Shui, with a smile on his face, looked at Luo Wen, who was not concerned about anything and was still calm and steady, and he couldn't help but admire and respect him. The key is that Luo Wen taught 4 classes in a row without being flustered, and his face was not red or out of breath. The classroom effect was amazing. He really hoped that the school would have more such amazing special talents. Of course, making friends with someone like Luo Wen, Pan Shui was no longer jealous. Mr. Luo, I also think your class is really great. I estimate that the physics scores of the 2 classes will definitely improve in this first monthly exam, and your teaching style is also worth learning for all of us. Li Meng did not deny that she had some good feelings for Luo Wen, who had an outstanding image and extraordinary temperament. However, Luo Wen treated everyone with a gentle face and did not treat them differently. She did not know Luo Wen's personal situation, so she decided to get in touch with him more and see. Oh, by the way, Mr. Luo, you don't have classes in the afternoon. Do you have other work arrangements? Although Pan Shui accepted the fact that Luo Wen was much better than him, he was still a little irritable when Li Meng looked at Luo Wen, so he interrupted their conversation. Oh, no, my substitute teaching time in school is set according to everyone's standards. In the afternoon, I have to create personal files for students into classes. Don't I have evening self-study in the evening? No way. It's okay to have outstanding personal abilities, but even his attitude towards work is dedicated and enthusiastic. Could it be that he just came to the school to take office, so he deliberately wanted to show off and pretend? Forget it. Anyway, there is still a long time to come to a conclusion. Oh, Mr. Luo is really dedicated to his duties. This spirit is worthy of our admiration. Oh, by the way, we all brought our own lunch at noon and went to the cafeteria to eat together. How do you solve this problem? In any case, Luo Wen was just very energetic in class, exuding his personal charm, and he did not show any aggression towards female teachers. Pan Shui temporarily felt that Luo Wen was a good candidate to make friends with. Yes, Mr. Luo, the school cafeteria treats everyone equally. Teachers and students eat the same food. There are too many people and we need to line up. We usually prepare our own lunch boxes in advance and put them in the insulated box. What do you do at noon? Li Meng's heart moved casually, and she wanted to say something or do something, such as if you can't cook, I will bring more dishes every day. But because she had just met Luo Wen and was not very familiar with him, she also silently suppressed such impulse. Besides, she always behaved as keep strangers away and didn't want to be too intimate with the opposite sex in school. It's only been a few days and she was so proactive with Luo Wen, which really violated her position and principles. Oh, is that so? It's okay. I'll pay attention next time. Anyway, there is no class this afternoon, so it doesn't matter if I queue up. Wow. Look, isn't that Mr. Luo from the 3rd year of high school? Handsome guy, with a stunning appearance. Moreover, I finally understand what the book says about gentle as jade means. Luo Wen's appearance and temperament, with the blessing of passive energy affinity, and the continuous increase in experience, are also increasing day by day. Every move, every word and deed are natural, giving people an unforgettable impression of simplicity and beauty. Of course, this is the result after Luo Wen blocked the spiritual energy aura around him. Otherwise, animals and plants would be close to him, and Luo Wen would have to be labeled as a fallen immortal. In the bustling cafeteria, Luo Wen was like a luminous light source, illuminating everyone's vision and attracting their attention. The noisy environment was instantly quiet. Teacher Luo, we usually sit over there. Let's go over there first. Come find us later. Facing Pan Shuo's invitation, as well as the expectant eyes of Li Meng and his office colleagues. Oh, okay, I see. There was no way. Now that Luo Wen had accepted the identity of a teacher, he had to work hard to integrate into this setting. Besides, experiencing life is also a kind of practice, not to mention that this was a strange requirement of the system task. Here I come. Teacher Luo is here, to line up for food. Hugh correcting his attitude, he also quietly looked at his clothes. Boys and girls, it seemed that they didn't want to leave a bad impression in front of Luo Wen. Hey, Mr. Luo, here. Fang Yifan, waving his hands and full of energy, was calling Luo Wen at the end of the line. It was not only because Luo Wen had taught their class to classes and gained a group of new fans, but also because Fang Yifan was very grateful for Luo Wen's life-saving grace that day and naturally had a kind of affectionate admiration for him. In addition, Fang Yifan himself was such a lively and outgoing personality. There were more than a dozen food windows, and only the one where Fang Yifan stood was a little shorter. Luo Wen didn't care about the choice. He took a step and walked straight over. Hey, Fang Hao, just call me if you want to. Why didn't you tell us first? You're such a jerk. Quick, Teacher Luo is here. Yingzi, am I okay? Huang Zitao, Kao Yingzi, Lin Lia, Fang Yifan, and Wang Yi seemed to be in close contact. At this time, the 3 girls looked nervous, afraid that Luo Wen would find out about their little problems. They helped each other to tidy up their clothes and ponytails. Oh, we meet again. Hello. Haha, hello, Teacher Luo. The food in the school cafeteria tasted only average, but it was clean and hygienic, and the nutritional combination was reasonable. Besides, Luo Wen was not a picky person, and he had a strong adaptability. If he really didn't like something, he would usually do it himself. He was the kind of person who did everything by himself, and he would not make a fuss and blame others. The food on Luo Wen's tray was the same price as everyone else's, but the quantity and quality were much better than others. The auntie who served the food asked Luo Wen enthusiastically, while serving the food, "Are these enough? Do you want another spoonful?" Everyone could only remain silent and choose to turn a blind eye to such a scene of differential treatment. Alas, it turns out that no matter where you are, the world is all about appearance. Chapter 302 Evening Study. The lively and vibrant campus. As night falls, the lights in many classrooms are turned off and no one is moving around inside. However, the teaching building where the senior grade is located is brightly lit, and students are reviewing, either practicing questions, or listening to English listening with headphones, or forming study groups to exchange their test papers. However, there are still some differences. Unlike other classes, the teacher on duty sits on the podium and few people go up to answer questions. In the classroom of the basic class, it is a lively and jubilant scene. That's right, Luo Wen chose the basic class for his first evening self-study. Anyway, it's a rotation, and the next time he will be in the sprint class. It doesn't matter to him whether he comes first or later. Perhaps, it is precisely because the foundation of the basic class is poor. Taking advantage of the freshness of the morning, Luo Wen also wants to strengthen the learning effect. Ahem. Although the evening self-study is for everyone to study on their own, if there are any deficiencies, we should strengthen the main attack. However, if the students have questions other than physics, the teacher is willing to talk to you. Luo Wen put the teacup on the podium. He had not changed the water for several days, since he brewed pan shuo's beluachin tea a few days ago. He also put his laptop on the podium. This one is specially used in school, not the one at home, so the content and permissions are also different. Luo Wen is a cautious person who makes decisions after planning. Of course, he considered some possibilities in advance. In the main world, that is, before Luo Wen was selected by the system. To be honest, Luo Wen's social experience and knowledge and skills accumulation were not outstanding, or on the low side. However, he couldn't help but cheat later. Without the pressure of life, he had a lot more time to study. Ancient and modern, Chinese and foreign, music, chess, calligraphy and painting, astronomy, geography, modern science. Not to say that he knows everything, but Luo Wen does have most of them. And what he said in front of the students who were studying in the evening was not to show off, but to be sincere. In addition, what he said was not limited to physics, nor was it limited to the physics textbook. He was willing to talk to his classmates about other aspects, except for the textbook. Teacher, I always feel that the meaning of this word is vague. Can you help me explain it? Teacher, we have a big dispute about this classical Chinese paragraph. Can you help us judge it? Teacher, this math problem, Teacher Chen has explained it to us, but I still don't understand it here. Teacher, you said that I feel listless during the day and very energetic at night. Am I sick? How did such a question suddenly pop up? Dry mouth, white tongue coating, black eye bags, pulse condition. Did you watch something at night, so you were stimulated? After returning home, do more outdoor activities, and go to bed before 11 o'clock. You will be able to adjust in a few days. Oh, haha, thank you teacher. Wow, this is also possible? Some students were asking the blushing boy what kind of inappropriate stuff he was watching, while others looked incredulous. They didn't expect Luo Wen to be so open to all questions, and he also provided a mysterious and reasonable Chinese medicine diagnosis and treatment. Oh, teacher, every time I have my period, I always feel palpitations, and feel so uncomfortable. Can you help me feel my pulse? With short hair and a red face, Keelan changed her usual bold boyish demeanor, and stood in front of Luo Wen, wishing she could lower her head to her chest. Well, there's no need to feel the pulse, the diagnosis is the same. Let me write you a prescription, which is all common Chinese herbal medicines, and normal people can eat them raw, but the dosage and the method of boiling are slightly different. You can take it back, and let your parents take a look. If they think it's okay, you can buy these things in the supermarket. Swish. Luo Wen took the notebook on the podium, which should be left by Pan Shui, and tore off a piece of white paper. With a wave of his hand, neat handwriting like printed text was left on it. Luo Wen was very cautious, especially when dealing with these young men and women. Boys were fine, some normal physical contact was not a big deal, but girls were different. Not to mention the opinions of the outside world, or any bad rumors. Luo Wen did not want these little girls to have any imagination, so as to avoid more serious consequences. Wow, Xianlin, the teacher really showed it to you? Keelan returned to her seat, and was immediately surrounded by her friends. They even snatched the white paper in her palm, and studied her Chinese medicine recipe. Hey, if you want it, you can't go to Teacher Luo to ask. This is what Teacher Luo wrote to me. Besides, Teacher Luo said that different people have different bodies. In order to achieve the best treatment effect, different adjustments need to be made. Ah, that's right, Chinese medicine does seem to pay attention to this. Teacher, I have insomnia recently. Teacher, I always have acne on my face recently. Teacher, I'm too fat. Can I be saved? Just like Columbus discovered the New World, in front of Luo Wen whose new abilities were discovered by Keelan, a circle of men and women gathered around him, each of them full of infinite trust and affirmation for Luo Wen, thinking that since Luo Wen could solve all their learning problems besides physics, then the old Chinese doctor might also be real. Age. For young people, rules are meant to be broken, otherwise, why would there be idol worship? At 9 o'clock in the evening self-study get out of class was over, and Luo Wen finally regained his freedom, and was liberated from the enthusiastic embrace of his classmates. School is over. School is over. Everyone be careful on the road. Walk together. Go home and rest early. Ah, how come it's 9 o'clock so soon? I still have a lot of questions that I haven't asked yet. That's right, it's all your fault. You have to surround teacher Luo and ask some weird questions, which has delayed my learning progress. Okay, I will be in school every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you have any questions, you can ask me after class. Pack up and go home early. Clapping his hands, Luo Wen stopped the complaints of the active learners. They are all his students. Whether it is in study or life, he can provide them with help within his ability. Luo Wen also has a great sense of accomplishment, but it is impossible to have no bottom line at all, such as indulging students who are selfish and only care about themselves. Although he will not criticize such people, Luo Wen will use his own way and methods to influence and change them. Oh, goodbye, Mr. Luo. Hoo-la-la, school was over, and they couldn't stop Mr. Luo all the time, so they had to calm down and start to organize their study tools and school bags. Besides, there was a long time to go, and there were still more than 200 days before the college entrance examination, so there was no rush. Hehe, make way, if you don't go home, I still have to go home. Leah, my cousin is here. Fang Yifan picked up his school bag in a hurry, spread his legs, and ran to the next door. Today was also a rare day. A student scum like him actually studied honestly for a whole night. Of course, if Mr. Luo Wen wasn't here, if he had changed to another teacher, he would have been struggling with his heart and his mind. Feeling that he had learned a lot of new knowledge points, and had relearned satisfying gains, Fang Yifan couldn't suppress the excitement in his heart, and urgently needed to find a few student tyrants to share it well. Moreover, with Mr. Luo Wen teaching them, Fang Yifan firmly believed that it would not be long before he could get rid of the bad luck of being the last and successfully advance to the parallel class. Chapter 303 Small Intelligence. Ding ding buzz. Some people live a very regular life, such as Luo Wen, who can stay awake for many days in a row. At this time, he has finished taking a shower, sitting cross-legged on his bed, and entered a state of meditation. Some people study all day, go home to eat supper, snacks, and take a hot bath. Fatigue disappear in an instant, and they are full of energy to fiddle with their mobile phones, check Weibo, watch short videos, and some chat in WeChat groups about the latest topics, discussing and exchanging their own ideas and collected information. Guys, big news. I just asked my uncle about it. Do you know that Mr. Luo Wen, who is teaching us today, is a senior talent who returned from studying abroad? He not only has a double degree, but is also an honorary professor of a domestic double first-class university. Haha, whenever my uncle talks about Mr. Luo Wen, I can see the envy and jealousy in his eyes. Oh my god, Teozi, are you telling the truth? From the information I have collected about Mr. Luo Wen, he is 26 years old, has extraordinary skills, an amazing amount of knowledge, and knows Chinese medicine. Now he has the status of a professor. Isn't he too strong? I knew that Mr. Luo Wen must be extraordinary. Ever since he showed us the holographic image of the starry sky, I have determined that he is my #1 idol. This small WeChat group currently only has Fang Yifan, Lin Lia, Kaiao Yingzi, and Huang Zitao. Lin Lia is concentrating on his studies, so the only people talking in it are Fang Yifan and the other two girls. By the way, I also got an important piece of information. Mr. Luo is not only well educated, handsome, and good at teaching, but he is also a wealthy man. He can buy houses worth tens of millions at will. Moreover, Mr. Luo, Yingzi and I all live in the same community of Shuxiangyan. What? Teozi, is what you said true? Which building does Mr. Luo live in, and what is the house number? Kaiao Yingzi's performance at this time seemed to be the most concerned and active one. Fang Yifan was also moved, wondering if he should get closer to his goddess and his idol. Well, my uncle doesn't know either. How about tomorrow? No, Mr. Luo won't be at work tomorrow. How about we go ask him the day after tomorrow? Yingzi, what do you think? Okay, that's settled. The next day, time suddenly felt much slower, not at all like yesterday. The happy time passed quickly. It was not easy to get through the afternoon after school. Evening self-study was voluntary, and not everyone would go. There was a 2-hour break between 4 and 6 o'clock, and many students could have more time to eat and rest. Some students who live on campus can also wash their clothes in advance and clean the dormitory. If there is still more time, you can also invite a few classmates to go to the basketball court and the playground to vent your vigorous energy. Hey, Yingzi, let's go. The birthday present I bought for you has arrived. Let's go out and have a look. Haha, Fang Yifan was walking out of the school with his school bag. He was going to pick up a career. Unexpectedly, he ran into Kao Yingzi, who was carrying her school bag and preparing to go home for dinner. Yesterday, it was great value for money, but today it's not the same. His mother had to find connections everywhere to get him into the basic class. She finally found Kao Yingzi's mother and gave him extra lessons. So the evening self-study can only be put aside for the time being. Besides, Mr. Luo Wen is not here today. Birthday present? Lin Lia's arrival made Kao Yingzi feel a little pressured. Her strong personality is one aspect, but more importantly, she still hasn't figured out how to tell her strict mother, who is so focused on her that she only ranked second in the exam. Forget it, let's take it one step at a time. Let's go, the courier just called me. It's just right. It saves me from going back to look for you again. Oh. No way, you bought this for me. How can I dare to take it home? Tearing open the package of the express bag, inside was a Lego toy box. Compared with the astronomical telescope her father gave her last time and the holographic projector in Zhang Yang's hand, although Kao Yingzi felt a little disappointed, she was also very moved. After all, this was Fang Hao's kindness. Haha, let's make it clear first. Consider this as your birthday present. When it's your birthday again, don't ask me for it. I won't acknowledge it. You're such a thief. My birthday is still a long way off. How can you be like this? Fang Yifan has such a personality, and Kao Yingzi has long been accustomed to it. The two of them walked through the tree-lined neighborhood while waiting for Teacher Song's class to start in the evening. Also, if I take this thing back directly, my mom will kill me if she sees it. You don't know, my dad bought me a Lego before, and it was confiscated by my mom. I'm really scared. How about you keep it for me first? The closer to the door of her home, the more dazzling and hotter the gifting Kao Yingzi felt in her hand. It's not that she felt unworthy of it, but she was really afraid of her biological mother, who could do anything. Are you stupid? Such a big box will certainly be discovered by Aunt Song. If you put it in your bag, it will definitely be discovered. Give it to me, and I will break it down for you. With a creak, a snap, Fang Yifan took the Lego box from Kao Yingzi's hand, opened it directly, and then took out the plastic packaging inside. Oh, that makes sense. It is indeed much smaller in size. Come on, open your school bag. I will pack it for you. Kao Yingzi, who looked cute and innocent, did not think Fang Yifan was rude, but obediently unzipped her school bag with a face full of appreciation and happiness. Sometimes, being good at studying does not necessarily mean that the brain has a high IQ. It may just be that the brain is simple in structure and can concentrate on studying. As the last one, Fang Yifan's poor academic performance does not necessarily mean that he is mentally retarded. Having ideas, good physical coordination, and high emotional intelligence are also external manifestations of high intelligence. Unless there is something wrong with the brain, the difference in academic performance between ordinary people may sometimes just be a matter of enlightenment and enthusiasm. Hey, wait a minute, Yingzi, why is Ji Yang Guiyang here too? What are they doing? The two had just solved the problem of the Lego box on the rest chair in the community. When Fang Yifan looked up, he actually saw Ji Yang Guiyang, the thorn who had a conflict with him on the first day back to school. This is not the key point. The key point is that Huang Zitao, who had never walked with him alone, actually walked shoulder to shoulder with Ji Yang Guiyang. What? Fang Yifan suddenly felt heartbroken and deeply shocked. Well, we left together today, so they should be traveling together, no problem. Traveling together? As far as I remember, Ji Yang Guiyang doesn't live here. I know Taozi lives here, so he didn't come here to take her home, did he? Fang Yifan was unhappy, and his tone was particularly sour. Hey, stop it, don't let your imagination run wild. We all live in the same community now, so it's normal for them to go to school together. Wait a minute, doesn't Ji Yang Gyang live in the east? Heh, he just moved here recently and lives in the same unit as ours, but my house is on the 4th floor and his is on the 1st floor. What? Or thunderclap, as if exploding directly beside his ear. The latest news revealed by Kyo Yingzi instantly made Fang Yifan nervous. About this matter, aren't everyone entering the 3rd year of high school? Recently, many classmates have moved to this community, which is close to the school, and can save a lot of time on the way. Yingzi, you didn't tell me such important information. We are childhood friends? No, I tell you, what can you do? Yes, I can't do anything, but I can think of a way. TSK, what can you do? If you have the guts, move here. Men can't say no, especially Fang Yifan, a young man who cares about his face. Facing Kyo Yingzi's repeated provocations, he clenched the Lego box in his hand and made up his mind secretly in his heart. Fang Yifan, must move to this community as soon as possible, otherwise, he can only watch his goddess being pried away by Ji Yang Gyang, the 2nd generation. Well, it's a blessing, not a curse. It's a disaster that can't be avoided. Fight. Kyo Yingzi turned and walked home, and Fang Yifan didn't even bother to eat dinner. He quietly followed his goddess and made sure to ensure the innocence between them. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 304, Endless Fun. The class placement test at the beginning of the senior year of high school, with the announcement of the final results, all students and families were in a state of panic. However, the classrooms have been reallocated, and the test focus of each class has been decided by the teachers. The sprint class is preparing for the double first class universities, while the basic class is charging towards the undergraduate line. As for the parallel class, it is to go if you can, at least to ensure that you can get into the 2nd class or above, whether it is liberal arts or science, even if it is an art exam. All parents have begun to get nervous and make plans in advance. As long as they can get into university, regular tutoring and looking for famous college entrance examination teachers. Such ordinary means are indispensable. Click, bang. The thick armored door originally did not have the function of automatic opening and closing, but Luo Wen lived alone, and the sky outside was just getting bright. He didn't mind practicing his telepathic control ability. Anyway, at this time, there was no sound of neighbors getting up next door. Phew, it's another working day, and then there will be 2 days of weekend rest. Luo Wen is also full of energy and ready to face a new day of work. Good morning, Mr. Luo. Why are you here so early? Didn't I hear that you don't participate in the attendance duty? Old Lee, with a simple smile on his face, is the gatekeeper of Chunfeng Middle School. He has worked here for more than 10 years. He is also a well-informed person. Naturally, he also knows that the young man in front of him is a special talent with a good identity and origin. Oh, I'm used to getting up early, Mr. Lee. I'll go in first. You are busy. Beep. Luo Wen has decoded the identification chip in the work permit into the smartwatch. As a high-tech talent, if he doesn't have this method, wouldn't it be a waste of the system's painstaking efforts? He was the first to come to the office again, mopping the floor, watering the plants, and then changing a bucket of water in the water dispenser in the office, pouring out the tea water, and replacing it with a cup of less conspicuous pure water. Luo Wen then sat down at his seat and took out the teaching laptop from the drawer. Click, click, the crisp and soothing keyboard tapping sound rang out. Luo Wen continued his file building work, as well as the learning progress analysis report of 60 students into classes. Click, click, the familiar footsteps sounded. It should be Teacher Li Meng. Hey, Teacher Luo, why are you here so early again? Haha. As soon as Li Meng entered the door, she saw the new teacher Luo Wen appeared in the office again, and the smile on her face became particularly sincere and comfortable like spring breeze and rain. Well, Teacher Li, good morning. It was neither cold nor hot, neither particularly enthusiastic nor deliberately keeping a distance, just like a normal relationship between colleagues. Li Meng couldn't help feeling a little disappointed, but she didn't know why. Perhaps, in the heart of every confident adult, they all desire to get attention from others, and their behavior attracts the attention of others. Although they don't care, they enjoy it very much, just like Li Meng now. Tap, tap. Oh, I thought I could get first place today, but I didn't even get second place. Good morning, Mr. Luo. Mr. Li, have you cleaned this office? Looking at the watermarks on the ground that had not completely dried up, he glanced at the office environment again. No, even the bucket of the water dispenser had been replaced. It was obviously impossible for Li Meng to do it. She had never been so careful before. It wasn't me. It should be Mr. Luo, right? Papa. Luo Wen, who had greeted Pan Shui, was still sitting upright in his seat, typing efficiently on the computer keyboard. He was praised like this, but he didn't feel complacent at all. How strange he was. Hee haha. The campus environment and basic supporting facilities of Chunfeng Middle School are completely in line with those of international middle schools, such as the open atrium of the teaching building, fabric sofas, lounge chairs everywhere, bookcases, art sculptures, oil paintings, and famous quotes. It's not an exaggeration to say that this is a modern art museum. It is the free and densely packed high school students that are telling those outsiders who don't know what's going on that this is Chunfeng Middle School, a school rather than a simple art gallery. Haha, Taozi, look, does this look exactly like Fang Hao? Haha, yes. Ouch, my stomach hurts from laughing. They look too much alike. The two little girls, who were holding their stomachs, and whose faces were starting to turn red, had obviously seen something particularly interesting on their phones. At this time, they were leaning against each other, constantly switching their gazes between the screen and Fang Yifan. Hey, what are they exactly alike? Let me see. No, this is your biological brother. What if you don't recognize him when you see him? Haha, Fang Yifan, Kaiao Yingzi, and Huang Zitao, who were playing and fighting, seemed to have been so close since childhood, and the classmates who passed by didn't gossip much, as if they were used to it. Oh my god, you are all boring. How are we similar? I'm a human, and it is a dog. Haha, if we are similar, it is just the expression that is similar. Fang Yifan, who got the phone, was not really angry. Instead, he followed their words, and accepted them with pleasure. By the way, Fang Hao, did you hide the Lego I gave you yesterday? Did your parents find out? Kaiao Yingzi had a hot pot with her father yesterday. Although she would inevitably be scolded by her mother after returning home, she was happy with it, and felt that the delicious hot pot was worth it. Her father spent a lot of money this time, and bought a large Star Destroyer, which made Kaiao Yingzi envious of Zhang Yang for several days. Finally, she got what she wanted, and found a balance, right? Even a small Lego toy, her mother confiscated it, and didn't let her play with it, saying that she would return it to her after the college entrance examination. Kaiao Yingzi didn't dare to take such a big Star Destroyer Lego back home, so she sent it to Fang Yifan's community downstairs at night, and asked him to keep it for her. Don't worry, when I move to your community, you can come to my house anytime you want to play. Fang Yifan patted his chest and made a promise, not only for the friendship between him and Kaiao Yingzi, but also because he had already started to implement the moving strategy this morning. For example, if his cousin Linlia missed the bus, Fang Yifan would be late by himself, and his parents would obviously not take it too seriously. At most, he would be beaten by his mother. But Lear is different. Without his mother, his grades are good. How could his parents bear to see him running between school and home every day? Hey, wait, Fang Yifan, are you moving? Huang Zitao was a little confused. He had never heard of someone suddenly thinking of moving after school started. Besides, Fang Yifan's academic performance should have nothing to do with where he lives, right? Yes, I'm trying to find a way to get my parents to move to Shuxiangyalan. But, isn't your house big? Even if my cousin Linlia comes, it should be big enough for him, right? Huang Zitao looked at Fang Yifan, who was determined and serious, and felt that he didn't seem to be joking this time. You're still asking me? I haven't asked you yet. You and that guy every day, that's it. When the word came to his lips, Fang Yifan suddenly lost his courage. After all, what happened between Huang Zitao and Ji Yang Guiyang had nothing to do with him. If he spoke rashly for this reason, wouldn't he seem too petty and unmanly? No, what's wrong? That's it, what's wrong? Forget it, I figured it out. I really figured it out, and finally know why your academic performance is good. It's close to school, so he studies at least 2 hours more than me every day. What makes me most angry is that it's been 2 years, and no one has suggested that I move. Oh, are you afraid that I will surpass you? What kind of logic is this? You are the last in academic performance. You don't think it has anything to do with a 2-hour journey every day. Besides, even if you are put in the classroom for 24 hours, I'm afraid your mind is not on studying, right? Sure enough, Kaiao Yingzi, who has been playing with Fang Yifan since childhood, knows Fang Yifan's character very well. With one sentence, he was speechless. TSK, you look down on me. Wait, I will move to Shuxiangyalan. The next time the class is divided, I will definitely be admitted to the sprint class. Kaiao Yingzi and Huang Zitao are courageous. They both have expressions of caring for mentally retarded children. Ding ding, the music for class sounded. Fang Yifan also sees the time to think about the next plan, which required more support and help. Hey, Yingzi, didn't you say before that your mother had insomnia and couldn't sleep, and there was Valium at home, right? Why are you asking this? Wasn't my cousin late this morning? As his cousin, I care about him, so I have to think of a way to help him. He just can't adapt to the climate, and he misses my aunt. So, you can bring me some Valium, and I'll go back and let him sleep well. Is that so? I was wondering why Linlia was sweating so much early in the morning. Okay, but let me make it clear first. Valium is very effective, and most people should pay attention to the dosage. Remember not to take too much. Out of trust in Fang Yifan, Kaiao Yingzi also sympathized with Linlia. She thought that Valium was not a poison, and it shouldn't be a big problem to give Fang Yifan only a few pills. She was doing a good deed, right? Chapter 305 changes. Hey, Yingzi, Mr. Luo is on duty tonight. Are you coming to the evening study? Really? Who told you that? Oh, it must be your uncle. Didn't Mr. Luo Wen have other jobs and only come to teach 3 days a week? After school in the afternoon, some people were impatient to clean up their desks, while others gathered together and whispered. For example, Huang Zitao, who was excited, was sharing good news with his good friend Kaiao Yingzi. By the way, Yingzi, do you remember what Fang Hao said today? He said he was moving, and it seems that there is nothing else? No, he said that after he moved, he would definitely take the next class division test and get into the sprint class to accompany us. It turns out that his confidence comes from Mr. Luo Wen. I didn't know it before, but later I heard from my uncle that Mr. Luo Wen not only taught 2 classes, but also took charge of the evening self-study of our 2 classes on the day he went to work. Why didn't you find out earlier? If I had known that there would be evening self-study on Wednesday, I wouldn't have gone home. No, don't worry. Teacher Luo comes on rotation. He teaches 3 days a week, 2 classes for each class each time. The evening self-study is also rotated. The last time was for the basic class, and today is our sprint class. Many sprint class students who were not in school for evening self-study suddenly received a message today that the physics teacher was on duty. They were very excited and quickly took out their phones to send messages to their families. Hello, Mom. I have to stay in school to answer questions today. Please pick me up after the evening self-study. Hello, Dad. I have evening self-study at school today, and I have also had dinner at school. You and Mom don't have to wait for me. I will take the bus back after the evening self-study. Hello, Mom. There is a physics teacher on duty at night. Yes, it's Mr. Luo Wen Luo who teaches very well. Why are you here? He is my teacher. Why are you worrying about it? It's annoying. Some said that they had to attend evening self-study in the evening, and some asked their parents to change the time of the training class. Huang Zitao didn't need to do that, because her study progress and life were all taken care of by her uncle Pan Shui. Pan Shui had already asked her to attend Luo Wen's evening self-study class, so why did she need to go and say hello? Hey, mom, I'm studying at school today, you don't have to wait for me to come back. Cao Yingzi was cautious, fearing that her mother Song Qian would not agree, and was ready to pull Huang Zitao in at any time, to ask her to prove it for herself. Why? I said I would turn down the one-on-one meeting today, and come back to talk to you about the test papers for the class placement exam. Why do I suddenly have to study at school? Song Qian is not a woman who is good at expressing her feelings, nor is she a good mother who is close to her daughter. Today, on a whim, she tried to relax her requirements for her like her daughter's father, starting from her preferences, to improve the tense relationship between mother and daughter. While wondering about her daughter's sudden decision today, Song Qian looked at the Lego toys on the coffee table and became hesitant. Didn't I tell you that there's a new substitute physics teacher in our class? Uncle Taozi took the initiative to let her attend Mr. Luo's evening self-study class. I also like his class very much. Oh, is that so? Okay, do you want me to pick you up from school in the evening? Hearing the 3 words Mr. Luo, Song Qian also put aside her doubts. Although she is now a gold medal teacher in an off-campus training institution, she is also an old teacher who once worked in Chunfeng Middle School. The relationship and acquaintances are still there. She has also heard about this legendary teacher Luo Wen. Since the school leaders all praise him, she will naturally not stop her daughter from studying hard. Mom, thank you. Thank you? Song Qian looked at the hung-up phone, and the bitterness at the corners of her mouth became more and more solemn. Ta-ta, here we are, Teacher Luo is here. Hush, be quiet. Hello, students, I will be in charge of the evening self-study today. If you have any questions, or if you don't understand something, you can ask me. Yeah. Haha, snap. Facing the students' thunderous applause and enthusiastic cheers, Luo Wen put down his water cup and his laptop. In order to cope with possible needs, Luo Wen brought his own notebook and ballpoint pen this time. Hey, Taozi, I heard that during the evening self-study in the next class, some students went to teacher Luo for pulse diagnosis. I don't know if it's true. Well, how about, Yingzi, take the lead, and go up to explore the way. The classroom was rustling with noises, either flipping books, or writing and drawing quietly, and the 2 ponytail girls buried behind the mountain of books were quietly discussing something, with a flushed face. If you didn't know, you might think that the school didn't want to spend money on electricity, and didn't turn on the air conditioner to heat it up. Papa, Luo Wen's student file, the basic framework has been completed, and the remaining is to add details. As for everyone's learning progress report and subsequent learning plan, Luo Wen has also completed 80% of the progress. Of course, these are all the work he completed in school. Luo Wen will not bring these works to his home after leaving school. Looking at the quiet boys and girls below, compared with the chaos in the basic class, they are undoubtedly much better than the basic class in terms of self-discipline in learning. However, they are obviously weaker in terms of liveliness, vigor, and imagination. Rustling. Teacher Luo, I heard that you can not only answer questions related to physics, but also other questions, right? Dang dang, dang dang. Her heartbeat accelerated. After Cao Yingzi got closer to Luo Wen, she realized that in the classroom and outside the classroom, teacher Luo's temperament had obviously changed. His eyes were deep, his face was full of encouragement, and his mouth was smiling gently. In the cafeteria that day, he was calm and indifferent. Teacher Luo, is he a social phobic? Oh, that's not right. There are many students in the classroom, and social phobia doesn't seem to be like this. Did Fang Yifan tell you, or did Huang Zitao tell you? Teacher Luo has only been teaching for 2 days. How come he seems to have memorized everyone's name? Moreover, how did he know that I have a good relationship with Taozi and Fang Hao? Don't you often go in and out together? Haha, okay, let's not talk about this. Whatever questions you want to ask, I will tell you everything I know. Luo Wen's study room is facing the inner part of the community. He often sees these people playing together. Besides, these people are the main characters in the plot. How could he not associate them with each other? It's just that Luo Wen deliberately changed the topic to let her relax, because he saw the little girl in front of him avoiding his eyes and feeling nervous. Oh, Teacher Luo, I have liked astronomy since I was a child. I yearn for the vastness of the universe and the mystery in space. I have always had a doubt. Do you think there are really aliens? Huh? Aliens? Luo Wen took back his previous opinion of the students in the sprint class. At least this Kao Ying's leaps in thinking really caught people off guard. Do you want to hear a more scientific statement, or my personal judgment? Is there any difference between the two? There is no difference, because my answers are the same, just the expression process is a little different. So, Teacher Luo thinks that there must be aliens outside our planet, right? The term aliens is actually not accurate. It can be said to be extraterrestrial intelligent life. Not all aliens are humanoid creatures, and they are not necessarily carbon-based creatures as we understand them. Moreover, in this vast sea of stars, everything is possible. The conclusion that there are no aliens is like the man-made gods worshipped by some people. They are all false propositions. There is no need to spend time thinking about them, because they are meaningless. Oh, really? By the way, Teacher Luo, I heard that you also live in Shuxiang. Can I make a humble request? Can I come to you to ask for help with study problems during my break? Yes, but you have to get your parents' consent first, and then you can call me. Kao Yingzi likes astronomy, so isn't this a perfect candidate for the navigator? Luo Wen looked at the little girl in front of him, and already had a plan in mind. Okay, thank you, Mr. Luo. Kao Yingzi found that Mr. Luo Wen was not only a like-minded astronomy enthusiast, but also very positive about her dream. And such a result really made her very satisfied. Chapter 306 Surprise. Song Kyan, please take me to see the empty house you have. By the way, it hasn't been rented out yet, right? Tong Wenji hurriedly walked towards building 516 of Shuxiang, while calling her bestie Song Kyan. She couldn't help but be anxious. What happened yesterday was really too stressful. Linlia was drowsy when he went out in the morning, as if he hadn't woken up yet. In the morning, the teacher called and said that Linlia had been drowsy and accidentally bumped into Fang Yifan, and his nose was bleeding. Move, immediately, right away, you have to move. Whether it was for Fang Yifan, or for Linlia's various performances of not adapting, after Tong Wenji discussed with Fang Yuan, she went straight to Shuxiang Yuan that day. She didn't dare to delay for a day, for fear that the two senior high school students in the family would encounter any accidents during this critical period of the year. Oh, if you really want to move here, there is a small 3-bedroom apartment downstairs from my house, which I later renovated. I'm going to the community right now. How about I take you to have a look when you come? Hey, I'm already outside your apartment door. Come back soon. Okay, wait for me, I'll be back soon. On Sunday, Luo Wen was still at home, like a dead otaku, unwilling to go out at all. Kao Yingzi, who had asked Luo Wen in advance, did not call as promised. I don't know if she did not obtain the consent of her parents, or forgot about it, or was delayed by other arrangements. Boom swish, it's over. Dad, my mom said she's going to come to the planetarium to stop me. Oh, what should I do? Wearing a plain white shirt, a pair of tight jeans, and a pair of simple white shoes. If it weren't for the childishness and student spirit on her face, her hair was deliberately undone today. If her classmates who knew her saw it, they would definitely scream. But she finally found a backer who supported her speech at the planetarium, that is, her father Kao Widang. Now it seems that she can't escape the iron-blooded suppression of her biological mother. Don't worry, my daughter, your father is here. With my years of experience fighting with your mother, don't worry, I promise that she can't get in today. Haha, Kao Widang, who was driving the car, promised Kao Yingzi, but he was actually panicking in his heart. However, in order to maintain his glorious image in front of his daughter, and to try to compensate her, and fulfill the responsibilities that a good father should fulfill, Kyo-edan decided to go all out today. He still didn't believe it. He had been divorced from Song-kan for so many years, and he couldn't still be afraid of her. Come on, Kyo-edan, you can do it. Bang, click, click. Song-kan, who was wearing a pair of short-heeled leather shoes and had a slightly out-of-shape figure, hurriedly carried her bag on her back, calling Diddy on her mobile phone, and rushed out with a look of anxiety and irritability, as if there was an unexpected incident beyond her expectations. Bang, click, A. While she was waiting for the elevator, Luo Wen, who was wearing a formal suit, with empty hands and only a computer backpack on his back, also stood at the elevator in trance. Hello, are you the new owner of 404? I heard from Liao Yang that he sold the house to a young man. I didn't expect it to be such a handsome guy, haha. Although Song-kan was a little angry that her daughter Kyo Yingzi took the initiative to sneak out to participate in the activities of the planetarium and ignored her mother's words, but during the gap of waiting for the elevator, since they were new neighbors, they would meet each other every day in the future, so it was natural to take the initiative to say hello. Oh, hello. I heard from the previous landlord that there is a gold medal teacher living next door in 403. I guess you must be teacher Song-kan, right? Luo Wen had actually heard her voice before. He also saw the unpleasant things that happened between her, Kyo-edan, and Kyo Yingzi on the playground at the oath-taking ceremony that day. Besides, even without the synopsis of the plot, Luo Wen could have roughly understood her basic situation, based on the existing information. However, although Luo Wen appeared at the oath-taking ceremony that day, and rescued Fang Yifan, showing his face once, there were so many people and parents. How could an ordinary person have such a good eye to remember Luo Wen, who was wearing a hat and keeping a low profile? Yes, I didn't expect that old Yang would tell you this. By the way, what's your name, young man? We'll be neighbors next door from now on, so I should have a name for you, right? My name is Luo Wen, and I'm a substitute teacher at Chunfeng Middle School. On the parent contact list, you should be Kyo Yingzi's mother, right? Hiss you are Luo Wen, the teacher Luo my daughter mentioned? Boom. Song-kan's head was buzzing. She never thought that the young talent who was talked about so much by old acquaintances actually lived next door to her, and he had moved in for almost a week. This was the first time they met and said hello. What a coincidence, right? Hey, wait, the brave young man who I saw at the oath-taking ceremony that day seemed to overlap with his image. Song-kan finally confirmed that this Luo Wen was the substitute physics teacher in her daughter's class. Ding, squeak. The elevator also came down from upstairs at this time. Teacher Luo, please come in. Please come in. Our Kyo Yingzi will need your help in taking care of her in the future. Oh, look at my memory. You live next door to me. Yes, we must visit each other more often in the future. Oh, what a coincidence. Haha, who said it wasn't? It's really a coincidence. By the way, teacher Luo, you are dressed like this. Are you going out to work? Isn't it the weekend and the school is on holiday? Oh, I was invited by the planetarium, and I happened to be free at home, so I went to give them a simple science lecture. Ah, are you going to the planetarium too? Ah, could it be that this extremely enthusiastic teacher Song-kan is also going to the planetarium? Haha, then it seems that teacher Song is the same as me. Hey, I'm not afraid of teacher Luo laughing at me for saying this. My Kyo Yingzi is about to take the college entrance examination. Time is getting tighter and tighter. I asked her to review more at home and do some exercises, but she thought I was harming her. Her father secretly sent her to the planetarium to participate in some speech activities. Isn't this just fooling around and wasting time? Sorry, I'm not talking about you, teacher Luo. You are a teacher, and she is a student. There is no comparison. Haha. Song-kan was flustered, and didn't know what was wrong with her today. She met teacher Luo Wen, who needed to be pleased, but she didn't keep her mouth shut and said everything. He wouldn't have any opinions in his heart, right? Alas, it's all Yingzi's fault. No, it's her shameless father who spoiled Yingzi desperately. It must be Kyo Weedong who instigated it. Otherwise it's only been a few days since the start of school and the family has been in chaos. The mother and daughter have quarreled several times. Ding, we arrived at the first floor. Luo Wen did not lift his foot. It's okay, I know what Teacher Song meant. Although Luo Wen said that he didn't care, Song Kan couldn't just leave. No, Teacher Luo, I'm really not talking about you. I was just mad at my Kyo Yingzi. He pressed the first floor below ground. How about this? I'm going to the planetarium now too. If Teacher Song doesn't mind, you can go with me. It was not until this time that Song Kan realized that it was not that Luo Wen had a problem with her and didn't want to get off the elevator, but that Luo Wen pressed the first floor below ground in the underground garage and kept pressing the door opening button with his hand, waiting for her to get off. He didn't think that I was deliberately using his car to take advantage of him. Song Kan's face was full of embarrassment, and because she had misunderstood Luo Wen's intentions one after another, she didn't dare to say much at this time. Click, click, beep. The silver streamlined body and the brand new Bentley Continental Coupe caught Song Kan's eyes. Is this Teacher Luo Wen's car? Song Kan has 4 houses, which can be considered as some assets. However, her spending power is obviously not up to this level. Even if she can afford it, she can't spend the money. After all, assets and cash are 2 completely different things. Click, Teacher Song, aren't you in a hurry? Oh, hey, Teacher Luo, did you buy this car yourself? Click, bang, boom, I just drove it back yesterday. This is my first time going out. Hiss this. Song Kan sat in the back seat, looking at the luxurious and exquisite decorations in the car. Suddenly, she felt extremely curious and confused about Luo Wen, who was in the front seat and only left her with a calm back. Chapter 307, Encounter. Teacher Song, I still need to park my car in the parking lot. I'll take you to the entrance of the venue, right? Oh, Oklahoma. Thank you very much, Teacher Luo. I'll go down first. When this matter is over, I will definitely bring my daughter Yingzi to visit you. Song Kan, who is usually eloquent and even eloquent, sat in Luo Wen's car all the way. She wanted to speak several times, but she didn't know where to start. She didn't know if it was because she was not confident enough or Luo Wen's aura was too strong, which made her, a single mother who was in a hurry to go out and not prepared at all, hesitate in her heart. With a creak, Luo Wen said, and parked the car at the entrance of the planetarium. After Song Kan thanked him, she seemed to remember that she didn't come here today to meet Teacher Luo Wen by chance, but to stop Kyo Yingzi from wasting time on these hobbies that were not related to the college entrance examination. Click, click, as far as the eye can see, there are few pedestrians in the empty square except for the security guards. It's past 9:10 in the morning. Oh no, the event may have already started. Song Kan had no choice but to jog to the automatic ticket office. Behind her, Luo Wen drove into the parking lot without stopping. It was originally his turn to give a speech at 10 o'clock, but now he arrived early. Luo Wen was already giving face to the planetarium. But behind the marble column at the corner, a middle-aged man wearing glasses and a fancy short-sleeved shirt had a face full of confusion and puzzlement. He and Song Kan had known each other for so many years, but he just found out that she knew a rich man besides himself. Bentley Continental custom sports car. Even he himself was a little lacking in confidence and was reluctant to spend millions to buy such a luxury car. However, for the sake of his daughter's dream, he couldn't bear to see her crying and helpless. Kyo Weedong tightened the chain in his hand and quietly followed behind Song Kan. Bang bang, hey, Kyo Weedong, what are you doing? In broad daylight, you dare to restrict others' personal freedom with iron chains. Believe it or not, I will call the police. Open it for me. Song Kan, who was scolding, had just bought the admission ticket. When she heard the noise, she turned her head and found that the shameless Kyo Weedong not only indulged his well-behaved daughter to do bad things, but now he dared to confront her directly. Do you think your life is too long? Don't talk. I have to stop you today. I promised Yingzi that you stay here for half an hour and I will let you out soon. Click. He Kyle Weedong didn't even look up to look at Song Khan's eyes. He buried his head and locked the door with a smug look on his face. He felt that today was finally the day for the serfs to sing. He, who had always been at a disadvantage, subdued the always strong Song Khan. Why is there no sound suddenly? Kyle Weedong looked up and was stunned. There was more than one entrance to the ticket office. There was also an accessible exit on the right. Song Khan opened the glass door and rushed to the ticket office of the planetarium. Hey, stop, Song Khan, stop right there. Papa, clack. A man and a woman, two middle-aged people who were almost 100 years old, actually started running in the empty square. Even the passers-by stopped and watched with curiosity. You are quite slippery and can run well. Stop, where are you going? Hoo-hoo. Kyle Weedong is a man after all, and Song Khan is a housewife who has not exercised for many years. The short heels she wore were not suitable for running. Before she ran more than 20 meters, she was stopped by Kyle Weedong like an eagle catching a hen. Who? Let go. What are you doing? I'm telling you, I haven't settled the score with you for Yingzi today, and you dare to take Suoso from me, right? Just wait. I'll bring Yingzi out and show you how I'll deal with you. Yingzi, where are you? Yingzi, why didn't I see you? Song Khan was like an angry hen, scratching at Kyle Weedong. When Kyle Weedong saw that Song Khan didn't continue to run, he took a step back as expected, obviously having learned such a lesson. Anyway, he has learned to be smart, and he retreats when the enemy advances, directly changing the subject and using the tactic of procrastination, just not confronting Song Khan head on. Stop pretending with me. She is in her 3rd year of high school now, do you know? What's the point of her participating in this kind of activities? Isn't it just a waste of time? On one hand, she was extremely anxious, and on the other hand, she was presenting facts and reasoning. Song Khan was about to cry. I guess she was still deeply worried in her heart. That is, she felt that Kyle Weedong was snatching her daughter away. However, of course, she would not say these words directly, otherwise it would make her look guilty. Why is it meaningless? Learning knowledge, practicing oral English, and exercising eloquence and public speaking skills are more meaningful than doing exercises at home, right? Kyle Weedong didn't want to use these means to deal with Song Khan. After all, she was Yingzi's biological mother. Besides, if they could sit down and communicate properly, why would he take the risk of exacerbating the conflict? Go away, I don't want to talk to you. I need to go in and find someone. I'll settle the score between you two later. Go away. All the actions of a woman are performed when the situation is favorable. Seeing that reasoning didn't work, Song Khan walked towards the ticket gate holding the ticket. Of course, it is also possible that she realized that Kyle Weedong was deliberately delaying time here, so she changed her mind. Hey, you're such a grown-up now. Why are you here cultivating your sentiments? Come on, follow me, let's go to Luo's Western restaurant across the street. Let's go eat. I'll treat you. How about it? Hoo-hoo, you're treating, right Luo? Western food. Okay, let's go. I'll go with you. Then let's go. Come on, you treat first. Swish. Kyle Weedong was like a sticky candy, probably because he was at this age. His skin was extra thick. Song Khan couldn't get rid of him. She took a breath, and seeing that she was still 10 meters away from the door, she pretended to be polite, then turned around, spread her legs, and sprinted towards the entrance with all her strength. Hey, how come you haven't changed at all over the years? You still like to use the same trick. Stop, don't run. Swish. After 3 or 2 steps, Kyle Weedong caught up with Song Khan again, and the two of them started to fight each other again. Anyway, he was not afraid of being at a disadvantage, and Song Khan only wanted to go in and get the people, so it was not easy for her to kill her in public. She had to stay a few meters away from the entrance with Kyle Weedong, and they got entangled again, unable to break free. Kyle Weedong, what are you doing? Are you a scoundrel? Come on, someone, come quickly. Hey, don't shout. Yingzi has spoken inside. As a mother, can't you give her some face? Okay, she has spoken, right? Don't think that you can succeed by acting first and reporting later. I tell you, even if she goes on stage, I will pull her down. The two of them went from the ticket office to the ticket entrance. The security guard patrolling the door couldn't stand it anymore. After all, it was his duty. Besides, how can a grown man always make things difficult for a woman? Hey, let go. What are you two doing? Security, come quickly. Someone is being a hooligan. Now Kyo Weedong's head is buzzing. Last time at Chuxiang Yalan, he was misunderstood as a stalking thief. Today he is a hooligan again. What kind of thing is this? Security, stop him. I don't know this person. Look, I have a ticket. I can go in, right? He doesn't have a ticket, and he's a hooligan. Catch him. What are you talking about? You're just accusing me of being a hooligan. Security, I'm her husband. Listen to my explanation. Ta-ta. Teach a song? What? What are you doing? Luo Wen saw everything that happened here from a distance with his backpack on his back, but he was not in a hurry. Without knowing the plot, of course he would observe first and then decide whether to intervene, just like now. And Kyo Weedong seemed to recognize the young man in front of him. After all, Luo Wen's image is hard to forget. Besides, they met just a few days ago. Hey, aren't you the young man in building 516 last time? What a coincidence. This is a misunderstanding. Really? This time is the same as last time. This is my wife. We had a little conflict because of the issue of educating the children. So you know, go away. Who is your wife? I divorced you a long time ago. Teacher Luo, don't listen to this person's nonsense. His behavior and morality are very questionable. Ignore him. Sir, do you really know these two people? My name is Luo Wen, and I'm the guest speaker on this public day. Your director you should have greeted me, right? Hisso. Sorry. So you are Professor Luo Wen? Yes. Director you told us that if you come, notify her as soon as possible, and she will come to greet you in person. Professor Luo Wen? Kyo Weedong was confused, but he always felt that he had heard this name somewhere. Where was it? Fangyuan, Kyo Yingzi, or that day at school? However, this was too shocking. A young man was actually a high-level intellectual and even a professor? Alas, this world was too crazy. Oh, it's okay. I know both of them. Let them come in with me. Mr. Kyo Weedong, right? Hello, I'm the physics teacher of Kyo Yingzi's class. Oh, hello. I was wondering why your name sounded so familiar. So you are the physics teacher Yingzi mentioned. Wow, Professor, you are too shocking, right? Haha. Teacher Luo, forget it. Song Kyan wanted to stop him, but as she said, they had both been divorced for many years. Kyo Weedong was indeed Kyo Yingzi's biological father. In the eyes of Mr. Luo Wen Luo, both of them were Kyo Yingzi's guardians. If she said too much, it would easily leave a bad impression. Let's just forget it. Okay. Since Professor Luo has spoken personally, I will just report to Director Liu later. Professor Luo, please. I will take you to the lecture hall. Chapter 308 Planetarium. Our country's lunar exploration program, from project establishment to preparation, has gone through all kinds of difficulties. It was not until the launch of the lunar exploration satellite that we really saw the true landscape of the moon. Kyo Yingzi, on the podium, was full of confidence and vigor. She also switched to the Chinese and English version of the speech, describing a magnificent scene of a great cause with passion and emotion. Let humans become a multi-planetary species. This is the theme of this public day. Of course, it was precisely because of this theme that Luo Wen accepted the invitation of the planetarium. Otherwise, no one would be able to do it. After all, as the head of a secret independent research institute, all his goals are to start the opening the sky plan as soon as possible. The leadership of this country did not dare to force anyone to issue any executive orders. Swish wow, the entire lecture hall uses the most advanced surround screen, which is equivalent to a hemisphere, directly above the hall. At this time, a naked eye 3D animation is playing, and the starry sky is in full view. In the near distance are the blue planets and the moon, and in the far distance are dazzling stars and glittering stars. Kyo Uedong, who walked into this environment for the first time, couldn't help but make the most authentic exclamation. And Song Kyan's anger suddenly disappeared, and she looked at the strange scene in the hall with a shocked face, a little dazed. Director Liu, Director Liu, Professor Luo Wen is here. Ah, wow, the two women sitting in the seats closest to the entrance, one is about the same age as Song Kyan, and the other is relatively younger. Seeing Luo Wen, who arrived early, they couldn't help but look at him with a dazzling look, and hurriedly stood up to greet him, especially Liu Jing, who was elegant and outstanding in temperament. She also saw her landlord. How did they get together? Oh, after all the fuss, Luo Wen is the physics teacher of Chunfeng Middle School, and he is also the physics teacher of Liu Jing's son Ji Yang Gang, Song Kyan, and Kyo Uedong's daughter Kyo Yingzi. Not only that, Luo Wen actually lives in building 516, which is 404 next to Song Kyan's house. It makes them feel that it is a coincidence, and the relationship between them suddenly becomes much closer. Although Luo Wen knows that there are many coincidences in himself, but when he really sits here and looks at Kyo Yingzi on the podium, looking at him with joy, he still feels a kind of physical and mental comfort, and a happy feeling of good things happening one after another. System, isn't this a related task? Let him experience the plot as a teacher, and then prepare to personally train the navigator. The system really has good intentions for me. Professor Luo, your speech won't start until 10 o'clock. Why are you here so early? Liu Jing has a very comfortable and peaceful temperament, and she speaks in a gentle and measured tone, which shows that she has received a good higher education, and is influenced by the family culture. She is either from a scholarly family or a so-called big family. Oh, I always like to prepare in advance. Since I agreed to come, I must take it seriously. Moreover, aerospace and astronomical enlightenment do need the country to increase investment and let more people participate. Luo Wen and Liu Jing, although one of them is more mature and the other is very young, in terms of temperament and the feeling he gives people, Luo Wen is unfathomable, with sword-like eyebrows and deep eyes. Everyone must see him at first sight. Hey, Song Kyan, listen to what Mr. Luo Wen said. Look at others. They are professors at a young age. Look at their vision of the future and their judgment of the future world. You always talk about the college entrance examination. I'm afraid you don't care about anything else except the college entrance examination, right? Until this time, Kyo Uedong suddenly realized that Luo Wen was his most powerful weapon against Song Kyan's oppression. Whether it was identity, status, or concept, Song Kyan dared to belittle herself wantonly, but did she dare to deny Mr. Luo Wen? What's wrong with playing Lego? What's wrong with liking astronomy? Does it matter whether you take the exam for Tsinghua or Peking University? Mr. Luo Wen said that the future will be an interstellar era. Everyone should start from their own interests and hobbies. Otherwise, no matter how high the test scores are, it will not mean much to the new world of the future. Isn't it true? How many double first-class universities have cultivated scientists and real great men of the times? I'm afraid they can't even catch up with the fraction before the 21st century. Everyone just wants to use the springboard of famous schools to seek a better background and make money. But what about everyone's original ideal? Studying and making money. What is the ultimate purpose? Living a life of drunkenness and dreams, wasting time. How many people bowed their heads to reality and society before their dreams even began? Scientists in the past were proactive for the future of mankind, but now senior talents do everything they can for their own selfish interests. The progress of society and the development of science and technology are said to be brilliant and rapid, but in fact, they are just copying others' ideas and other legacy left by their predecessors. The current Han-dominated countries, even looking at the blue planet, are at the initial stage of interstellar exploration. For celestial bodies other than the mother planet, they are only in the stage of detection and data deduction. Landing on the moon, only a few countries have accomplished such a feat, and other countries are still struggling and consuming themselves in the vortex of political chaos, internal contradictions, and people's poverty. It is said to be modern scientific and technological civilization, but it is only compared with the history of the blue planet. Relying on huge manpower and material resources, Technology has been piled up to the current height, but in terms of basic theory and scientific and technological innovation, modern society is far behind the previous era. Energy, internet, machinery, weapons, technology. Compared with the old era, there are only some more optimizations, or patterns, and it has been developing horizontally, and has been stagnant for many years. However, if a civilization wants to continue to advance, it must break through the blockade, and adopt a vertical development model. Otherwise, sooner or later, the thin trunk can no longer support the fruitful crown, and it will collapse, and fall into a dead end. A spaceman in our country once said that we have missed the sea, but we can't miss the universe again. Our country's aerospace industry is moving forward and overcoming various difficulties. Sooner or later, in front of countless heroes who have fought one after another, the dawn of victory will appear, and we will also go to the sea of stars and fly farther. Wow, papa, papa, with Kyo Ying's tone full of firm conviction, everyone's emotions seemed to be substituted into it. Her speech once again reached its climax, and the atmosphere on the scene was warm to the peak. Song Kyan cried. She didn't know why she cried. Maybe she was infected by the confident Kyo Yingzi, or maybe she secretly regretted her narrow-mindedness. However, like everyone present, she was deeply touched in her heart, and gained a kind of beautiful feeling. Teacher Song, Kyo Yingzi said it very well. I believe she will be a great historical pioneer in the future. Luo Wen's praise, and the strong will in his eyes, that made people dizzy. Liu Jing and Song Kyan, they had a vague intuition that what Luo Wen said seemed to be an affirmation, not a simple wish. Haha, of course, this is my daughter, Kyo Idang. Teacher Luo, do you think my Yingzi will become a female astronaut who lands on the moon in the future? Haha, everything is possible in the future, who dares to say it won't? Chapter 309 Contingency Plan. Buzz boom, the engine roared continuously, and the carts whizzed past. This place is full of boys' dreams and men's paradise of love. Puff. Although the cart is small, the driver is a middle-aged man with a big belly. It seems that he can't bear the burden, and the exhaust gas roars twice, and he is also weak. Oh, hurry up, I'm stuck, help me. Haha, brother-in-law, you can't do this. You still have to strengthen your physical exercise. There are still many days to come. Wearing a casual suit and spraying mousse on his hair, he has a slender figure. I'm afraid he is more than 180 centimeters tall, and he needs to be 2 centimeters taller. His name is Liu Zheng, Liu Jing's younger brother, and also Ji Yang Guiyang's uncle. This racing hall is one of his industries. Just like the Ferrari sports car that Ji Yang Guiyang drove on the first day of school, it is also his. Liu Zheng has many industries, and is very rich. Alas, I can't do it. I'm old. This car looks small, and it seems that it can't drive fast. Hey, look at others. The one wearing green racing suit, he drives so well, I can't catch up with him, no matter how hard I try, and I'm still several laps behind. Russell helmet, headgear, gloves. It's troublesome to put them on, and it's also difficult to take them off. Ji Shengli, who was unwilling to admit that he was old, finally realized what the so-called generation gap among young people was all about. Yes, I know. You have to practice karting often, don't you know? If you have time to come often in the future, I will introduce him to you, and let him teach you. How about it? Do you know him? Creak. When Liu Zheng and his brother-in-law Ji Shengli were talking, a green karting master also stopped the car at the starting point, and walked down from the car with a nimble figure. Snap. Hey, isn't this Coach Pan? How do you feel? Haha. Although Liu Zheng came from a good family, he was neither arrogant nor impatient. He could be considered a self-reliant person. He was a model of an excellent second generation and a representative figure. He greeted Coach Pan, who was taking off his hat, with a smile on his face, and waved to Ji Shengli to introduce them. The car is good, and the track is also good. Haha. Of course. It just so happens that I can introduce a friend to you. This is my brother-in-law Ji Shengli, who is also the district chief of this district. Oh, hello, District Chief Ji. No, just call me old Ji. Haha. Brother-in-law, this is Coach Pan Shui, also a top god in the karting world. He has won trophies in domestic competitions many times. If I hadn't known him a long time ago, I might not have been able to invite this great god. By the way, I almost forgot to introduce him to you. He is also a teacher at Chunfeng Middle School, teaching Senior 3. Haha, District Chief G. I'm Ji Yang Guiyang's head teacher. Actually, we have met at the oath-taking ceremony last time. Ah, yes, I have seen you. You are the host at the oath-taking ceremony. I didn't expect that you are also the head teacher of Yang Guiyang's class. This is just too coincidental. Ji Yang Guiyang, in Luo Wen's 60 student files, is a person who is noted to be sensitive inside and not easily curious about external things. This may be related to the environment he grew up in. After all, his clothes, watches, shoes, and school supplies are all expensive brands. He should have grown up in an environment with abundant material, but lack of parental companionship, so he is withdrawn, indifferent, and self-enclosed. Luo Wen attended classes for a total of 2 days, that is, 4 classes in a class, and 1 evening self-study. He can see that Ji Yang Guiyang is actually a person who is cold on the outside but warm on the inside, and does not know how to communicate with classmates and parents around him. In his heart, he yearns to be noticed and wants to interact with others, but he does not know where to start, so he appears to be cautious and easy to be misunderstood. When Luo Wen first showed the holographic projection, in his fiery and interested eyes, Luo Wen saw the shadow of an excellent armor driver, focused and extremely calm. Ji Yang Guiyang is not suitable to be a captain, because he has his own pride, but as a combatant, a sharp and tough weapon is perfect. Of course, these are Luo Wen's backup plans. To really recruit the candidates he likes, Luo Wen needs them to pass subsequent inspections and various ability verifications before they will come forward to report their identities. Otherwise, as the person in charge of the Cation project, Luo Wen does not want this top secret plan to go wrong at some stage. Great, Yingzi, you are Dad's pride. You don't know, when Dad listened, tears came down. Really, your mother cried too. Oh, Dad is really so happy. I never thought that my baby daughter would grow up to be so outstanding now. Woo, confident, graceful, full of beautiful imaginations of the future. Qiao Weidong looked at Qiao Yingzi with a smile on his face and felt comforted. At this time, the corners of his eyes were still wet. Haha, thank you for the compliment, Dad. But, forget it. My mom will definitely not let me go again anyway. Qiao Yingzi was very happy, really very happy. Not only did she successfully complete her speech at the planetarium today, but she also had an unexpected surprise. Her mother not only did not interrupt her on stage, but she also sat quietly in the audience and listened to the speech. Afterwards, she praised her with pride. This was really surprising. In addition, Qiao Yingzi and Huang Zitao were still very unsure about the professor's identity as a physics teacher. Unexpectedly, he was invited to give a speech at the planetarium. Everyone was involuntarily immersed in his descriptions, and he even put forward some particularly creative ideas and suggestions, which made everyone feel excited and almost wanted to rush up to follow him and create a new future together. Moreover, Mr. Luo was calm and confident, and he played the Starfleet video for everyone on the stage, and his confident commentary made him look like the commander-in-chief commanding the joint fleet, maneuvering and looking down on the world, domineering, and really handsome. Yingzi, Dad also thinks you should go less. No, Dad, you were instigated by my mom so quickly. Why are you lobbying me instead? In front of Teacher Luo this morning, didn't you say that you would support my ideals and ask me to work hard for them? TSK, why do you say that to your dad, kid? How could I be instigated by your mom? Dad will always stand on your side. I support all your hobbies. But then again, you are a senior in high school now, and Dad doesn't want you to be distracted from your studies. First, this planetarium consumes too much of your energy and time. Second, your mom doesn't say everything she says is wrong. She is doing this for your own good. Don't always go against her. Song Kyan asked Kyo Yingzi with earnest advice and persuasion, using actions to abandon everything that was not related to the college entrance examination, and asked her to study hard and strive to be admitted to top universities such as Peking University and Tsinghua University. Kyo Wedong is different. He adopts a more tactful approach. He discusses and teaches by words and deeds. It is a gentler strategy of persuading students to study. Of course, in essence, he and Song Kyan have the same goal. They both hope that Kyo Yingzi can be admitted to a double first-class university. It's just that Kyo Wedong is more tolerant of Kyo Yingzi in terms of food, drink, and some harmless hobbies. How about this, Yingzi? After you finish the college entrance examination, if your mother objects to anything again, I will be the first to turn against her. Okay? Well, I have already promised my mother, and now I promise you again. Anyway, I got what I wanted this time and I'm satisfied. No problem. Chapter 310 Gathering. Hey, Yingzi, Dad has good news for you. Dad's house in this community has been renovated. You can come over in more than a month. Dad will cook whatever you want to eat. How about it? Yeah. Hush. Kyo Yingzi is controlled by Song Kyan in study and life. The catchphrase she always says is, no, no, this is not allowed, that is not allowed. Food and drink, as long as Song Kyan thinks it is unhealthy, she will not allow Kyo Yingzi to touch it. Fried, spicy hot pot, barbecue, they are not allowed to be mentioned. Suddenly hearing Kyo Wedong tell her such good news, Kyo Yingzi almost jumped up from her bed with excitement. Fortunately, her room was covered with sound insulation cotton, and Song Kyan was on the phone in the kitchen at this time, busy making dinner. Otherwise she might notice something unusual and come in to interrogate her. Dad, you are really fast. It's just, my mom shouldn't know about this, right? You underestimate your dad too much. How can I let her know about this? Oh, that's good. Otherwise, the secret base will be gone again. Okay, you study. It's getting late, and I should go back. Then I'll take you there. No, no, no. If your mom sees how close we are, she'll be jealous again. Just study hard in your room. That's better than anything else. Kyo Wedong pressed Kyo Yingzi on the chair in front of the desk and tiptoed out. He didn't know if he was afraid of disturbing Kyo Yingzi or afraid of alerting some beast. Upstairs and downstairs, Ji Yang Gang, because of his father's unremitting efforts and Pan Shuo's experience as a student's idol teacher, developed a customized plan for Ji Shengli. Not only did the cold relationship between the father and son ease, but when Li Yujing got home from get off work, the two of them were holding a tablet and discussing information related to carts, a beautiful picture of harmonious coexistence. That is, it is actually very difficult to drift on the track, mainly because the tires have too strong grip. Yes, Yang's analysis is right. Look, this one is better, and the butt is also spitting fire. Ji Yang was obviously watching a kart race video, but what Ji Shengli said was something else. At Song Kyan's home on the 4th floor, it was unknown whether it was Luo Wen's words that worked, or because of Kyo Yingzi's outstanding performance today. The single mother Song Kyan, who was secretly reflecting on herself, was also rare in her understanding and gentleness. Not only did she not object to Kyo Wedong driving them back, but after cooking dinner, she did not urge her ex-husband to leave, but acquiesced to his behavior of staying to have dinner with her daughter. Yingzi, when I went out today, I ran into Mr. Luo Wen. Do you know where he lives? This question, which Kyo Yingzi and Huang Zitao have always been concerned about, was suddenly thrown out by Song Kyan. She also quickly swallowed the chicken soup in her mouth, with an excited and expectant look on her face. Mom, I was just about to ask you today, how did you go to the planetarium with Teacher Luo? And then I was so fascinated by Teacher Luo's lecture, that I forgot about it. Oh, this Teacher Luo is really a hidden talent. This is the first time I have seen such a young professor, and he seems to be very rich. Song Kyan, with a mysterious face, was in a good mood today. She couldn't help but want to tease the two of them. Rich? No way. Song Kyan, could it be that the sports car that took you to the planetarium belongs to Teacher Luo Wen? Kyo Wedong is a very boring person, and he can never tell what Song Kyan is thinking, and doesn't understand her at all. That's right. If the two of them are in tune with each other, they would not have divorced so early. Yes, you are very smart. Nothing can escape your eyes. But to be honest, I'm also very curious. Mr. Luo bought a house and drove a luxury car. Where did he get all this money? Buy a house, drive a luxury car? Kyle Yingzi blinked, confused. Mom, you haven't told me. Oh, Mr. Luo bought your uncle Huang's new house. He moved in a week ago. If I hadn't run into him today, I wouldn't have known that he lived next door to us. Huh. This is too coincidental, right? Mom, then when I go to ask teacher Luo for help with my studies in the future, won't I just need to step out of the door to get there? Yeah, that's not wrong. By the way, we'll be neighbors from now on, and I'll find a time to go pay you a formal visit. Do you know what your teacher Luo likes, or what his taboos are, Yingzi? As the saying goes, you shouldn't hit a smiling person, and it's extremely impolite to go to someone's house empty-handed. Song Kyan felt that, whether out of consideration for friendly neighborliness, or because of Kyo Ying's identity as teacher, Luo Wen, this approachable, knowledgeable, and talented young talent, was worthy of her getting to know him. Not to mention how good their relationship would be, but at least she wouldn't suffer any loss by getting to know him, right? Preferences and taboos. How would I know about these? Besides, Mr. Luo is so young, he probably won't like these red tapes. How about buying some imported fruits? Hey, how can we be so casual about this? Although I don't live in this community, I'm Ying's biological father. So, I'll ask someone to buy some good gifts, like tea and wine. What do you think? No, Dad, please save some money. Mr. Luo is very disgusted with these things like cigarettes and alcohol, not as good as the fruits I mentioned. Time passed quickly. It was another weekend, and Chunfeng Middle School didn't know what was going on. Was it to take care of those teachers, or to facilitate Luo Wen? In short, the single day off was changed to a double day off. Whether it was junior high school or high school, it was the same. Everyone had 2 days off a week. And early on Saturday morning, Fang Yifen's family led the way in Insuv, followed by Ivan. It was obvious that the whole family was out, ready to officially move into Shuxiang Yalan. As luck would have it, the house they rented was just above Ji Yang Guiyang's house. From the living room window, they could see his small garden. Russell coughed quick, move your things to the room. Tong Wenji, who was out of breath, was wiping the front and back of the house with a wet towel. Fang Yuan, whose back was soaked, was searching for housekeeping services on his phone. They watched the workers load the things into the car and then asked them to move the things to the second floor. To be honest, they didn't do anything, but they felt more tired than the movers. The main reason was that they were tired, for fear of breaking something. While the family was busy, a Diddy special car drove in downstairs, and an elderly couple with grey hair and reading glasses got off. Their hands and feet were still flexible. Behind them, a strange middle-aged Taoist man in a black half-coat, with a Taoist hairstyle and an agate necklace hanging around her neck, seemed to be wrong. A witch. Yes, this name should be used to be more accurate. Don't move, these are professional tools. I'll do it myself. The red satin bag seemed to contain extraordinary treasures. Of course, if Luo Wen's perception was not malfunctioning, it would be a pile of broken copper and iron, and a crudely made peachwood sword. Alas, in the Dharma-rending age, there are still people who believe in these charlatans who wave the banner. Forget it, it's a matter of mutual consent. As a disciple of the Taoist sect, it doesn't make much sense for me to intervene or not. Just let her do it. Luo Wen did not continue to stand outside the window and look down, but took a glass of boiled water and returned to his studio. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 311 Visit. Hello, Mr. Luo? Yes, it's me, Kyo Yingzi. Are you busy now? My mom and I want to come and visit you. It's very strange. I can't tell what's strange. Luo Wen is just a young man, but he has been called a respectful title. Of course, Luo Wen's real age has long exceeded the scope of young people, but who can blame him for not looking abnormal in appearance, but looking younger and younger? Besides, Luo Wen's circle is really simple. No matter which world he is in, his principles of dealing with people and things have basically not changed. Whether it's his personality or his preferences, they are completely consistent. The most important thing is that he always maintains a positive attitude. From the perspective of outsiders, at most he is old-fashioned, but he will never be considered an old guy. Oh, I'm at home. If you want to come over to ask questions, why don't you just come over directly? Why do you have to make it so grand and even use the word visiting? It's really too polite. Putting down the work in his hands and slightly signaling with his eyes, the screen on the laptop began to switch, and the extremely complex technical data drawings immediately turned into a popular potato chip movie, and the pause button was pressed. Young people who stay at home, doing research is too stiff. It's better to stay at home normally. Creak. Pulling the chair away, the 1:1 model on the square no operating table in the studio began to wriggle and collapse. The nanorobots that are invisible to the naked eye are moving violently like a landslide and tsunami, but the vision is pulled into the room. That is, the spring snow melts. Their overall speed is not fast, nor slow. The empty study has returned to its normal appearance. Luo Wen opened the door casually and walked from the study to the living room, looking at the minimalist style of the house. I always feel that, if ordinary people see it like this, will there be any strange reverie? TV, sofa, coffee table, dining table. Yes, it's plants, lacking some warm life atmosphere, resuscitation. The divine consciousness and telekinesis were exerted and spread to the public areas of the community, and some plant seeds and rhizomes were casually taken. Luo Wen gave birth to 2 pots of asparagus fern in the living room, and also placed a few pots of orchids and a few pots of cute and delicate succulents on the balcony. Ding dong click. Teacher Song, Yingzi, welcome, please come in. Luo Wen's renovation of the house was actually very big, but no one paid special attention to it. The only previous owner who knew about it was unlikely to suddenly appear, and he was not afraid of exposing any secrets. Besides, even if some secrets were exposed, what would Luo Wen be afraid of? Hello, Teacher Luo. Haha, Teacher Luo, excuse me, do you want to change your shoes? Kyo Yingzi called Teacher Luo sweetly, then passed Luo Wen, and walked into the entrance. It was just a pair of clear eyes, blinking and looking around non-stop. I don't know what she was looking for. And Song Kyan, who was carrying 2 bags, walked into the door, saw the furniture arrangement inside, and the clean and hygienic environment. She couldn't help but wonder, how did Luo Wen, a young man, keep such a big room so good? No, I'm wearing shoes myself, just come in directly. By the way, this is my first time in Teacher Luo's house. I don't know what to buy. A little fruit is not respectful. Teacher Song is too polite. Sit down. Do you want to drink anything? Tea, coffee, orange juice, soda, purified water? After Luo Wen invited the mother and daughter in, he did not close the door, but turned to the kitchen, showing a very polite attitude. Ah, Teacher Luo lives here alone. How come the family has prepared so many drinks? Entering the porch, there was no sight of the hostess's shoes, or Luo Wen's own shoes, and the same was true for the layout of the room. There was no sign of other people's life, and Kyo Yingzi suddenly felt relieved for some reason, and a nervous feeling disappeared. Seeing Luo Wen holding the refrigerator door with one hand, while letting them choose, it seemed that there was nothing here, and he was going to take out more handmade drinks from the cupboard. Oh, Mr. Luo, I didn't expect that he looks so good outside, and his home is as neat and clean as he is. We didn't go far, so we can just drink anything. Mr. Luo, do you mind if we visit your home? I didn't have a chance to see it when Mr. Huang was renovating it before. Oh, no, you can do whatever you want. I'll make you a cup of jasmine tea, which is just right for clearing away heat and relieving summer heat. Okay. The weather outside is hot, and the air conditioner must be turned on at home. I didn't expect that when I arrived at Luo Wen's home, not only did I feel comfortable and pleasant, but I also had a fresh and natural smell at the tip of my nose. What's the reason? And why is his home not hot at all on the same floor? Wow, what a beautiful orchid, and these succulents are so cute. In addition to Luo Wen's bedroom, there are also rooms whose doors have not been opened. Song Kyan quickly confirmed that Luo Wen is indeed a single young man who is consistent in appearance and reality. The cleanliness and tidiness of his home is like a brand new state that no one has used. Moreover, there are little fun things in life everywhere. The kitchen tools seem to be more complete than those in her house. Could it be that Luo Wen lives alone and he cooks by himself? Kyo Yingzi, on the other hand, is not so suspicious. After a few simple glances, a bright color suddenly flashed in front of her eyes. Looking carefully, she found that there were 2 rows of particularly beautiful potted plants on the balcony. One row of orchids was elegant and beautiful. Another row of succulents of different shapes and varieties was cute and delicate. This is too exaggerated. Mr. Luo, a grown man, can actually take care of flowers so well. He is so good, right? That is, the house is so big, why don't you have 2 pets? Whether it is a cat or a dog, Kyo Yingzi has always wanted to raise one herself. At 10 o'clock in the morning, Kyo Yingzi and her mother Song Kyan had already finished the second cup of fragrant jasmine tea, and they also had a deeper understanding of Luo Wen and his family. I didn't expect that the approachable and versatile Luo Wen has such a bizarre family background and experience. In other words, in addition to his status and position, Luo Wen doesn't even have a blood relative. It's really pitiful. By the way, Mr. Luo, when you are resting, or when you are free, can you tutor Yingzi's studies? Although she has a good foundation, it is still a little difficult for her to be admitted to Tsinghua University and Peking University without any mistakes. Song Kyan put away all her bad thoughts or suspicions about Luo Wen. Such an inspiring and promising young man with strong self-control. She felt ashamed of her previous thoughts, and now she also said the real purpose of this trip. Is it okay, Mr. Luo? Kyo Yingzi seemed to be afraid of being rejected. She opened her pretty eyes and looked at Luo Wen expectantly. Oh, of course you can. At least before the end of the year, my work schedule is relatively easy. If you want to come, you can come anytime. It's actually quite boring for me to be alone at home. I don't like to go out very much. I just hope you don't mind, Mr. Song. Luo Wen specifically explained this to the 2 of them, and they gave up using the honorific title of you. At this time, seeing that Luo Wen happily agreed to the request again, they couldn't help but smile. They felt that it was a great thing that Luo Wen lived next door. Chapter 312 Another guest. It's getting late. Yingzi and I will go back first. By the way, Mr. Luo, why don't you come to my house for lunch at noon? I have some soup at home. Yingzi is a picky eater and can't eat much. There are only 2 of us at home, so some food will be wasted every time. Song Kyan achieved the purpose of this trip. She changed her previous skeptical attitude towards Luo Wen and invited him to her house for dinner very enthusiastically. As for tutoring Yingzi, she should also express her gratitude, such as inviting him to her house for dinner often. She has to do it every day anyway, and Luo Wen lives alone and doesn't even have a girlfriend. Compared with a professional tutor, such a small thing as eating is really nothing. Yes, Teacher Luo, my mother is very good at cooking, and the soup she cooks is especially delicious. It's just that she and I have small appetites, so we waste a lot every time. Luo Wen's home is large and spacious, and the key is that the environment is pleasant, and there are no mountains of books and seas like those in her own home. She really doesn't feel any pressure at all. Even her mother, who usually disciplines her strictly, seems to become gentle and easy to talk to when she comes here. If possible, Kyo Yingzi would like to live in such an environment instead of her own home where she is suppressed everywhere. Next time, Teacher Lee and Teacher Pan will come to visit later. We made an appointment at the beginning of the school year. Otherwise, I wouldn't have specially prepared so many drinks at home. By the way, why don't you come to have lunch together later, so you don't have to cook it yourself? Haha, when it comes to other skills, Luo Wen really doesn't dare to pat his chest to guarantee it, but when it comes to cooking, he has been tempered and praised by many people. Huh, no way. Teacher Luo will have to cook for the guests later. Can you cook? Ding ta ta, ta ta. Hey, Teacher Pan, you didn't take the wrong way. Are you sure Teacher Luo lives in this building? Following the open door, a familiar voice came from the corridor. Clear and clear. This is Teacher Li Meng. Yes, I confirmed it with Teacher Luo this morning. Don't worry, it's not wrong. Teacher Chen and Teacher Li, who are in the same office, also appeared in Shuxiang Yaoan together today. They don't live here. In fact, they rarely visited other teachers' homes before. One reason is that they don't have time, and the other is that it's really easier to have dinner outside than to go to other people's homes. But there are exceptions to everything, such as the new teacher Luo Wen, who has outstanding abilities and is particularly enthusiastic to help everyone in the office. Whenever there is a problem, the first person everyone thinks of must be the young Luo Wen. In private, some people have already called teacher Luo God. The most important thing is that he is handsome, single, and lives alone. Why don't they want to come to the appointment? Yingzi, yes, I said that teacher Luo lives next door to your house. You can't be unaware of it. I didn't expect to meet you directly at teacher Luo's house. Teacher Song, you are here too? Oh, haha, hello, teachers. I just arrived too. I have become a neighbor of teacher Luo. I came to ask for help to take care of Yingzi's studies. Taozi, it seems that your uncle brought you here to keep Yingzi company in the future. Three women in a drama. Although Song Kyan is older and is a senior of the teachers present, everyone is a guest in Luo Wen's house. Especially when there is no conflict of interest between them, they naturally chat very excitedly. Teacher Luo, there are so many people here today, can you handle it alone? If you can't handle it, we can help you, or we can order Hey Deleo to key it. Anyway, you are a big family and you are not short of money. As an amateur, who has seen big scenes, Pan Shui has only really devoted himself to the education industry in recent years. Luo went home, not to mention how much money was spent on decoration. The furniture and appliances are probably worth more than $1 million. The row of orchids on the balcony alone are placed together with a row of succulents, just like an aircraft carrier and a small paper boat, which is not a comparison of the same order of magnitude at all. Of course, women only distinguish whether the flowers are beautiful and whether the succulents are cute. In their eyes, they even want to ask Luo Wen for 1 or 2 plates of succulent plants to cultivate at home, rather than those delicate orchids that are difficult to survive at first glance. No, I've actually prepared it in advance, but I'll start after you guys arrive. If you guys don't come, wouldn't it be a waste of food if I cook too much? The house that Luo Wen bought has 3 bedrooms and 2 living rooms, and there is a covered balcony on the east and west sides. The study and utility room are separate spaces. Luo Wen lives in the master bedroom, and the other 2 rooms, one is a guest room, and the other is converted into an audio-visual entertainment room. Not only does it have a full set of KTV equipment, but there is also an electric screen that can be used as a home theater, and there is even a magic machine in the utility room. Why does it feel like Luo Wen is planning to entertain himself alone? So he specially prepared it. Teacher Lee, you can't go up at this time. What are you waiting for? If you don't want to take the initiative, I'll go. Song Kyan and several married teachers were discussing recent education-related topics, while Li Meng and the other 2 single female teachers were quietly paying attention to Luo Wen's busy back in the kitchen and whispering something. Hey, didn't we agree to be guests today? Don't break your promise. Besides, there are so many people here today, and it's their first time here. I have to get familiar with them, right? Oh, Teacher Lee, don't let the swarm of sweeters outside seduce our teacher Luo while you're getting familiar with them. The closer you are to the water, the sooner you get the moon. If teacher Luo Wen shows up more often, who knows who will make the first move. Crank boom flipping the spoon, seasoning, arranging the dishes. The 2 built-in refrigerators in Luo Wen's kitchen were already filled with cut vegetables and condiments. Naturally, the knife skills that the chefs on TV can't use, the people present have no chance to see. However, with Luo Wen's smooth, elegant, and calm movements, the men and women who were originally chatting all unconsciously shut their mouths. At this time, one by one, they were either sitting on the sofa in the living room or standing outside the semi-open kitchen, watching with relish. If you don't know, you might think they are watching some particularly wonderful acrobatic performance. It's not particularly accurate to say that Luo Wen's state at this time is like a performance. It's more like an artistic performance that connects perspectives, smells, hearing and other dimensions, and it's also a wonderful physical and mental enjoyment. Sweet and sour stir-fried, vinegar, steamed, braised, spicy and non-spicy. Luo Wen basically made 1 or 2 representative features of the 8 major cuisines, but these are not the key. When it's really served on the table, it's not great cooking skills. It's completely the god of cooking. It's too exaggerated. Some people care about nutrition when cooking, some people care about taste, and some people care about appearance. But what Luo Wen puts on the table is full of color, fragrance, and taste. He also combines the so-called plating of Western food. Every dish really reaches another level, from ordinary food, sublimated to another realm, delicious food. What are you looking at? It's already 12 o'clock. Aren't you hungry? Wow, it smells really good. Beautiful, so beautiful. Wait, I'm going to take a set of photos of the dishes made by teacher Luo and post them on WeChat Moments. Although it was the first time for Yingzi and Taozi to eat with so many teachers, Luo Wen was not arrogant at all, and he also mingled with them during class. Today, they were all guests at his house, so they naturally let go of their restraints, and behaved very naturally and sincerely. Yes, we have to record it well. If we have a bad appetite in the future, we can take a look at it. Maybe it can cure anorexia patients. Haha. Pan Shui has already accepted the fact that he is not as good as Luo Wen. After he stopped comparing himself, he suddenly realized that it is actually a good thing to be friends with Luo Wen. Not only can he learn something, but he can also get a lot of light. What is more important than this? As for teacher Li Meng, I'm afraid she is just a flower that has feelings for her, but Luo Wen is not ruthless. Luo Wen may not really like her. This discovery was a huge blow to Pan Shui. He originally thought that his goddess was an unattainable lifelong pursuit, but when he looked at it from another angle, he realized that to some people, the goddess might just be an ordinary colleague. Chapter 313 Nonsense. Hello. Oh, okay, I'll come down now. No, I'm not busy now. No delay. Okay. Song Kyan and Kao Yingzi had just finished lunch at Luo Wen's house. They were sitting and chatting with everyone, drinking tea after dinner, and talking about taking advantage of this rare opportunity to sing songs and play cards to relax. Tong Wenji, who moved here today, called her downstairs and said she wanted to ask her about the house. Although it was a disappointment, her best friend of many years was moving today and didn't call her in advance to tell her. Naturally, Song Kyan felt that she should go down and provide some help within her ability. Teacher Luo, I have something to do downstairs, so I'll leave first. Thank you so much for today. I'll trouble you more in the future. Yingzi, Fang Yifan is moving downstairs. Will you come with me? It's okay, Teacher Song. Just go and do what you have to do. Come over when you have time. Haha. Luo Wen stood up and exchanged a few polite words with Song Kyan and didn't mean to keep her. Originally, the two families had just met and their relationship was at most at the level of acquaintances. If they didn't happen to live next door, and there was the relationship between Kao Yingzi and her teacher, the key point was that she was already a middle-aged woman. What was there for Luo Wen to miss about her? Oh, I'll be right there, Taozi, we'll talk later. Kao Yingzi said to her good friend Huangzi Tao, then waved and greeted the teachers present. Teacher Luo, are you free tomorrow morning? Can Taozi and I come to your house to review? Sure. Yeah, Mom, let's go. Fang Yifan's family is moving. Let's go down and take a look. Oh, goodbye everyone. Goodbye, Teacher Song. Click. Let's do some activities after dinner. Sing or play cards. Teacher Pan, have you drunk too much? Why don't you go to the guest room to rest? Song Kyan took Kao Yingzi away, and the rest of the people were still enthusiastic. Luo Wen could get into work mode instantly and relax at any time to entertain the guests who came to visit. Ding, Mom, don't you think it will be more lively if Fang Yifan moves to our neighborhood in the future? Kyle Yingzi was so excited that she didn't know whether it was because she had eaten and drunk well at Luo Wen's house or because of something else, but she was always very excited. Now she was standing in the elevator with Song Kyan, and she was even more happy like a child, with a face full of happiness and longing. It's lively, but let me make it clear first, you can play together, but you must not delay your studies, Yingzi, remember? Song Kyan rarely enjoyed a half day of relaxing leisure time, but when she thought of Fang Yifan, she couldn't help but feel a little dizzy. This child is a good child, lively and polite. In addition, he is Tong Wenji's son. The two of them sometimes joked and said that they would have a baby marriage and get closer in the future. However, this is just talk. Fang Yifan has a good personality and high emotional intelligence, but his grades are really bad. Especially in this year's senior high school placement test, he actually ranked last. Her daughter Yingzi is in the sprint class, and Fang Yifan is in the basic class. She should pay attention to their interactions in the future. If the positive and negative are negative, she will have nowhere to cry. Oh, by the way, last time Lin Leia said that he was not used to the climate and couldn't sleep well. He was late for school for 2 consecutive days. It seems that the medicine I gave Fang Yifan must have worked. Kyle Yingzi naturally couldn't see the hidden worries in her mother's heart. She agreed casually and quickly shifted her attention to another topic. Medicine. What medicine did you give him? Ding, the elevator door opened, and Song Kyan didn't even bother to walk out. The third year of high school is a critical period. Everything related to the children must be taken seriously, not to mention that this involves the sensitive word medicine. It's the diazepam you always have at home, because of insomnia before. Kyle Yingzi, who realized that she had spoken out of turn, could only tell the truth. After all, under the interrogation of her mother, Teacher Song, most people couldn't resist, let alone herself. Swish, click, click. Song Kyan hurried out of the elevator, as if she was anxious to confirm with her own eyes that Tong Wenji's nephew did not get into any accident. How could you give sleeping pills to someone casually, kid? Besides, can adults' medicine be given to children? What if something happens after taking it? Oh, it's been a week. If something was going to happen, it would have happened a long time ago. Besides, it was Fang Yifan who asked me for it, not me who was free to give it to him. We are all 18 years old, so we are not children anymore, right? Hey, mom, wait for me. Click, click. Wenji, is your Lily at home? Tong Wenji didn't even wait for her to speak as she walked in and asked Song Kyan why she came so quickly. The first thing Song Kyan asked was Lin Leia, who she didn't see in the living room. Leia, what do you want to see him for? Oh, it's Yingzi. She said that your Lily had insomnia and was late for school, so she brought sleeping pills from home to school. I just found out about it, so I came to ask her. Don't let the child get hurt. Sleeping pills. Leia, when did this happen? How come I don't know? Well, didn't you ask Fang Yifan to ask my Yingzi for them? Song Kyan herself might have expected that there must be something fishy about this matter. After all, with her relationship with Tong Wenji, even if she wanted a few sleeping pills, it would not be possible for the children to say hello to each other. Wouldn't it be more convenient for them to send WeChat directly? However, if something really went wrong with this matter, Kyle Yingzi would be held responsible. Song Kyan naturally didn't want her daughter to bear such psychological pressure, so she just said it in passing. This is great. Fang Yifan, come out. Tong Wenji suddenly thought of something, thinking of Lin Leia's previous days and continuous lateness for school. Fang Yifan repeatedly said that he would move to Shuxiang Yalan. Tong Wenji was furious. She had lived for so many years in vain, and in the end she was fooled by her own son. Here he comes, rustling. Hey, Aunt Song, Yingzi, why are you here? What's wrong, Mom? Tell me, what medicine did you give Leia? The two sides confronted each other, and the atmosphere at the scene was particularly solemn. Tong Wenji had a serious expression on her face, and there was anger in her eyes. In addition, Kyle Yingzi desperately signaled with her eyes, which made Fang Yifan, who was originally in a very happy mood, instantly feel that something big is wrong. Cousin, did you drug me? Lin Lia, wearing black framed glasses and looking dull, seemed to be lacking in all aspects except study. At this time, he was even more confused, not knowing what his aunt was talking about. Sleeping pills. Lia, didn't you say you couldn't sleep? So Fang Yifan. Qiao Yingzi was indeed Fang Yifan's good friend. At this time, she wanted to cover up for him. I didn't have any trouble sleeping. Usually, I can't sleep after drinking coffee, and I can't wake up all the time. Not that I can't sleep. Click. Fang Yifan's eyes were evasive, and his right foot had quietly begun to retreat strategically. Alas, it is better for me to let my friend die than for me. Lin Lia hasn't grasped the essence of mutual cooperation. Qiao Yingzi saw that the situation was hopeless, and it was futile to continue covering up for him. Fang Yifan, didn't you say that Lin Lia had insomnia, so you asked me for sleeping pills? Tell me, was it you who gave Lia the sleeping pills? Fang Yifan. You. No, Mom, please listen to my explanation. I didn't want to give it to Lia at first. I wanted to give it to myself. I didn't want to go to school. I stayed in bed. I was pretending, and you didn't believe me, Mom, and you exposed me, so I wanted to take one pill myself, but Lia accidentally drank the orange juice. I didn't give Lia sleeping pills on purpose, nor did I drug him. Really, it was just an accident. Why don't you want to go to school? Why do you want to stay in bed? Why do you want to take sleeping pills? Speak. Tong Wenji and Fang Yuan, that's how they joined forces. Fang Yifan couldn't resist. The key is that the truth was revealed. He is really panicking now. Yingzi, what are you doing? Song Qian also joined the battle at this time, and Qiao Yingzi, who was like a little white rabbit, stood aside and saw the war burning on herself. She was also scared and trembling all over. Hey, Mom, I'm innocent. I won't take the blame. Fang Yifan, you are really something. Did you just want to move and want to be closer to Huang Zitao, so you gave Lia the medicine so that he couldn't wake up? What? Who is Huang Zitao? Who is Huang Zitao? Our classmate. The most beautiful girl in the class. It's over. It's over. Fang Yifan felt his heart was beating fast, his throat was itchy, and his palms were sweating. Swish, snap, snap. The slap from Tong Wenji's love had already hit him. I told you to fall in love. I told you not to learn well. Hey, 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 stop hitting me. Stop hitting me. It was a mess. A mess. Some were pulling, some were hiding. As the victim, Lin Lia was squeezed into a cardboard box. Fang Yifan had successfully escaped and ran out the door. I didn't mean to do it. I really didn't mean to do it. As for whether Fang Yifan did it intentionally or unintentionally, it didn't matter anymore. The rent for the house had been paid anyway. Besides, Lin Lia was not in any trouble. Chapter 314. House Cook. Fang Yifan's father, Fang Yuan, is a middle-level manager who was laid off by the company. He had worked diligently for more than 10 years, but the company just said it didn't want him anymore. If it were an ordinary person, he would probably collapse or become depressed. However, looking at Fang Yifan's personality, you can know who he is like. Fang Yuan has nothing to do and is free. In addition, the relationship between husband and wife is harmonious. There are 2 senior high school students in the family who are facing the college entrance examination, the most critical period of life. He temporarily decided to be a house cook who pays for the family. He is responsible for the home, and his wife Tong Wenji is responsible for the outside. It should be said that, although he lost his job, the severance pay plus family savings, their family is paying off the mortgage, renting a house, and maintaining 2 cars. The pressure is still within the tolerable range for the time being, and it doesn't matter that he, a laborer, has been unemployed for a year. Time passed quickly. The mat and air conditioning quilt were quickly put into the closet. Everyone took out their autumn and winter clothes. The night wind was getting colder. For the sake of health, closing the windows and covering the quilt had become a routine operation. At 6 in the morning, the residents of building 516 were awakened by the loud crowing of roosters. Gilu, gurgle, slurp how. The living habits of ordinary people and the impact of weather changes have nothing to do with Luo Wen. But when in Rome, do as the Romans do. In order to integrate into the category of ordinary people in different worlds, you have to learn to start with food, clothing, housing and transportation. Luo Wen changed into an autumn coat and put 3 meals a day on the schedule. Get up on time at 6 in the morning. Wash, tidy up the room that has always been kept clean and tidy. Water the flowers and plants. Add a little spiritual power to make them more beautiful and lovely. And then make breakfast and lunch. By the time he was sitting in the study room with a thermos cup and drinking boiled water, half an hour had passed. Boss, the progress of the entire institute has reached 85%. Everything is going well. The room was full of light and shadow. In the clear holographic image, the entire institute was built in the mountain. It was originally a military air raid shelter. It has been renovated, widened, redesigned, and supplemented with equipment and instruments. Now it has taken shape. Only the last details are being optimized and adjusted, waiting for the equipment and personnel to enter the site. Well, I know, everything is ready, and we are probably going to be busy at the beginning of the new year. In the past few months, Luo Wen has met many parents of students, and has also gained many loyal fans and some suitors. However, with his extremely regular and self-controlled living habits, changes are equivalent to no changes. On Friday, November 9th, Luo Wen was dressed in black casual clothes and a pair of Martin boots on his feet. He walked to school with empty hands. Fetching water, mopping the floor, and watering habits become natural. Then he sat in his seat and began to prepare for today's new teaching tasks. Hello, teacher. Well, hello. Go back to the classroom quickly. The class will start soon. Click. Click. In the office, all the teachers have arrived, and the necessary greetings have been made. The key is that these people are different from Luo Wen. Everyone can see that Mr. Luo's physics class is good, and the students are very motivated to learn. But they can't do that. Not only do they dare not compare with him in teaching quality, but they also dare not compare with him in working methods. It has been 2 months since the start of school. Others have test papers and homework books on their desks and under their desks. Look at Mr. Luo again. From the day he came, there has been no change on his desk except for a water cup and a laptop. He never assigns homework to students, nor does he give them mock tests. But everyone knows that the physics scores of the 2 classes will not be bad when the exam comes. Everyone, please stop for a moment. Teachers, please take the papers of your subjects. Teacher Pan, please help me distribute them. Thank you. Li Meng, who is full of energy and enthusiasm, holds a cowhide bag up to her neck. You don't need to look inside to know that it is the midterm test paper. Unfortunately, Teacher Li Meng, like other single young women, is not in the eyes of Teacher Luo. Until now, Luo Wen is still single. By the way, everyone must pay attention to the confidentiality of the test papers. The exams will be held next Monday and Tuesday, with Saturday and Sunday in between. So before leaving get off work, everyone must check again and again to make sure that their test papers are locked in the cabinet. This exam is very important. The ranking will be compared with the results of the previous college entrance examination. It is also the first time that students know their position in the district. Probably, they will also know which university they can go to with their scores and rankings. So, the invigilation work of this exam must be strict. Strict and strict. Okay. Don't worry, Teacher Lee. Well, if there are any omissions or leaks of questions, our school will definitely be criticized. Li Meng glanced around the office. Except for the calm young man in the corner, who made her feel inexplicably lost. Her pretty eyes were fixed on Pan Shui, who was looking at her enthusiastically. No, why are you looking at me? I see what's wrong with you. Hey, I remind everyone, those who usually get along well with students, must pay attention to the principles of teachers. The teachers in the office already smiled and understood the meaning of Li Meng's words. Only Pan Shui stiffened his neck. Hey, did you hear that? Pay attention and don't let Teacher Li worry. Hey, Teacher Pan, you don't have to tell others. You are the most dangerous one. Don't be so straightforward. There are many teachers in this office watching. Hey, then for you, I'm indeed quite dangerous. To pursue the girl you like, you have to be a little bolder and thicker skinned. In this regard, all the single young men in the office should really learn more from Pan Shui. Of course, there is one person. You, be serious. Li Meng, who looked somewhat embarrassed, turned sideways and pretended to be calm, and sat back in her chair. She wanted to look back to see someone's reaction, but she couldn't muster up the courage. She was embarrassed to take the initiative once. If she rushed to pursue someone, like Pan Shui, she really couldn't save face. Well, hey, Mr. Luo, how about we go for 2 more laps after get off work today? I don't believe it. I must have made a mistake last time. Pan Shui, who was sliding his chair, came to Luo Wen's desk with a happy expression. As for Friday's evening self-study, it had been cancelled long ago, which saved Luo Wen 2 weeks to balance the 2 classes. Teacher Pan, do you think you are good enough again? Okay, but I won't drive. You can take me there. Haha, Luo Wen and Pan Shui are quite close. First, Pan Shui likes to make friends because of his personality. Second, Huang Zitao often goes to Luo Wen's house to review, more often than Cao Yingzi does, and the number of times Pan Shui has followed her to eat is countless. Another reason is that Pan Shui likes to take Luo Wen with him when he relaxes outside. However, the last time he went out to play go-karts, Luo Wen's sports car caused a little trouble, so he agreed to Pan Shui and made a request. Okay, you are more charming than me, so it's better to be low-key. Pan Shui also nodded in agreement. Moreover, after knowing that Luo Wen had no interest in Li Meng, Pan Shui's last bit of concern was gone. He wanted to move to Luo Wen's house and be a very good roommate with him. It was convenient and all kinds of good things would happen. Chapter 315 The Boy's Secret. Ding ding, the school bell rang. Okay, that's all for today's class. Remember to take next week's exam seriously. After the midterm results come out, there will be a new round of class transfers. There are many students in the parallel classes who work very hard and want to get into our sprint class. So you guys, after you go back this weekend, you must make full preparations for review. Okay? Li Meng is a very strong-willed person. Maybe when they reach Song Kan's age, the 2 of them will be the same. In the last math class, she not only consolidated the knowledge points of the previous midterm exam, but also reminded the top students in the class again and again not to fall out of the top 30 in the grade. Otherwise, she won't miss the old times. Got it? By the way, let me ask, why didn't Cao Yingzi come to the last class? Does anyone know? Although there is no evening self-study on Friday, there is a Q&A class after school at 4 o'clock. It is usually a precious time that teachers are vying for. This is natural. Ordinary teachers are afraid that their course progress will fall behind and be surpassed by other teachers. Of course, they care about every class that imparts knowledge to students. Only Luo Wen is full of confidence. Not to mention that he doesn't fight or compete. His teaching style is also something that people envy, but dare not imitate easily. No one knows. Hey, Huang Zitao, don't you live in the same community with Cao Yingzi? What's wrong with her? I don't know. Huang Zitao hesitated. As Cao Yingzi's best friend, it is impossible for her not to know her movements. But out of friendship, she had to keep it a secret for Cao Yingzi. Oh, okay, school is over, you all should go home early. Li Meng didn't think much about it, but she felt something was wrong. Although she was very competitive and had very strict requirements for her students, she was responsible and believed in the truth that strict teachers produce excellent students. She always kept in mind any situation of the students in the class, thinking about visiting Cao Yingzi's home after school to see what was going on. Cao Yingzi was neither sick nor had any accidents. On the contrary, because Cao Yidang secretly moved into Shuxiang Yalan, he made a secret base for Cao Yingzi in their former 2-bedroom apartment. He bought her whatever she wanted to play and cooked whatever she wanted to eat. He responded to every request, naturally. In the past month, Cao Yingzi either asked for leave from the morning self-study or did not show up for the evening self-study. Except for the time when the physics teacher Luo Wen appeared every week, Cao Yingzi would not go to school if she could. But paper can't cover fire after all. when a young girl was immersed in the love of her father that she had lost and regained. Her head teacher, Li Meng, was about to come to her house to expose her beautiful dream. Click, click. Kaiao Yingzi, with a serious face, was now in her secret base, completing the splicing of the 10th Lego model. The school uniform she was wearing seemed to be in a hurry to come back, and she had no time to change. In just a few days, her spaceport base would be successfully completed. Looking around her, there was a meteor ceiling composed of LED light strips and luminous curtains above her head. In the living room, covered with soft carpets, a model table that occupied most of the area was filled with Lego models: Titanium Fighter, Star Destroyer, First Death Star, Cruiser. A large table full of these Lego toys alone would cost more than 100,000 yuan, not to mention the large amount of time and energy required to splice and place them. No wonder, every Saturday and Sunday, Kaiao Yingzi goes to Luo Wen's place less often than Huang Zitao. Yingzi, it's not that Dad is nervous. I just want to ask, will your constant request for leave and skipping evening self-study affect your academic performance? Ahem. It seems that Kaiao Yingzi has gone a little crazy recently, and Kaiao Widong feels uneasy, but as soon as his daughter calls him dad, he feels that his rationality disappears, and he buys whatever she wants. Oh, don't worry, Dad, you know my grades. I know everything taught in class, and besides, with the excuse of teacher Luo, Mom won't doubt us. Huh. Do you always use Mr. Luo Wen as a shield? If he knew, he would be mad at you. How can you go to his house to review your lessons in the future? Probably not. Never mind. I'll go to Mr. Luo tomorrow morning and ask him to cover for me. I'm sure he won't be angry. Haha. The more Kaiao Yingzi and Huang Zitao came into contact with Luo Wen, the more they found that Mr. Luo was a very gentle person. He was also a good teacher with whom they could talk about anything. Besides, with Mr. Luo as a killer, even if they lost some learning progress, they could make up for it quickly. The midterm exam is coming soon, so they just need to concentrate on reviewing in the next 2 days. Cousin, let's go back. It's getting late. My aunt should be worried. Lin Lear, wearing a long school uniform, stood timidly next to the basketball court. Although Fang Yifan and Ji Yang Guiyang were classmates and neighbors living on the same floor, they both had flamboyant personalities. On this rare Friday, when they didn't have to go to evening self-study, they had nothing to do, so they started fighting on the basketball court. Ji Yang Guiyang, come on. Huang Zitao didn't know if she was deliberately trying to anger Fang Yifan, or if she really had a different opinion of Ji Yang Guiyang. She cheered and encouraged him. The students surrounding him, who were also young and active, watched and cheered. Fang Yifan, come on, steal the ball. Swish. Ji Yang Guiyang made a beautiful jump shot, and the basketball went into the net. Yeah. Come on, cousin. Fang Yifan took the ball to attack, made a 3-step layup, and a jump shot. Swish. He also scored a goal. They were bullfighting. There was only a difference between scoring and not scoring, and there was no so-called difference in scoring technique scores. 1 point for scoring, no point for not scoring. Yeah, Fang Yifan, good job. Fang Yifan and Ji Yang Guiyang, one is a cool male god, and the other is a sunny boy with a cheerful personality. Naturally, they both have their own fans. Originally, the two big boys put the competition second and friendship first, and then wantonly vented their youthful energy. But when Ji Yang Guiyang shot, Fang Yifan committed a defensive foul, and the basketball flew through the air and hit Lin Lear in the old smartphone in his hand. Bang. Ah, no, don't step on it, don't step on it. The screen was broken, the phone case was opened, and the battery and motherboard were scattered into parts. Woo woo. No, 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 my phone, my phone. Lear, are you okay? Lin Lear, I'm sorry, it's my carelessness. How much is the phone? I'll compensate you with one. Cousin, I'm fine. The phone is broken. Woo woo. The phone can't be covered. The phone can't be covered. Ji Yang Guiyang and Fang Yifan both came to the sidelines at this time, but Lin Lear cried very sadly, even abnormally, with red eyes, holding the phone parts, looking lost and anxious, as if there was something precious in the phone. Ji Yang Guiyang, are you too unscrupulous in order to win? Why did you knock Lear's phone away? No, I didn't mean to do that. It was you who hit my hand. Besides, it's just a broken Android. Can't I just give you a new one? Ji Yang Gang. This is what my mother left me. She passed away. Woo. There are all her photos and voice messages here. Woo. Cousin. Now, everyone around was moved. They finally understood why Lear was usually introverted and why he lost control of his emotions because of a mobile phone. Okay, I know. Don't worry, Lear. Cousin will definitely find a way to fix your phone for you. Don't cry. I'll find a way. I really don't know. Oh, sorry. Ji Yang Yang probably didn't expect it to be like this, and what he said just now was indeed a bit too hurtful. Chapter 316. The truth comes out. After the midterm exam, everyone volunteered to work overtime in the office after the afternoon invigilation. The results of some subjects have come out, and the average score of the senior year's science comprehensive exam has increased. First, because the difficulty of the test paper is relatively simple, everyone's scores have risen. Second, the performance and progress of the sprint class and the basic class are the most eye-catching. Especially the science comprehensive exam. The full score has increased by 10% compared with the last class test, and the average score has also increased by 20 points. The main reason for this is obviously that Mr. Luo Wen has made the greatest contribution. Now, everyone looks at Luo Wen with respect and admiration. However, some people have made rapid progress, while some have regressed. The ranking has dropped drastically, such as Kyo Yingzi, who spoke well of Luo Wen 2 days ago. Even these results will not be told to the students who have finished the exam and are on vacation until Thursday. Hey, Mr. Luo, look at this. Who is this guy who has nothing to do? How could he Photoshop Ji Yang Gang into this? Isn't this likely to cause misunderstanding? Pan Shui slid his chair and came to Luo Wen's desk again. He had finished correcting his own Chinese test paper, but the work of entering the system was not yet completed. Instead, he looked nonchalant and came over to share the animated picture on his phone with Luo Wen. Luo Wen had already finished marking and grading the comprehensive science test paper, and even the work of entering the system was completed. He was efficient and relaxed. At this time, he was helping other teachers to mark and enter data for other subjects. Hey, Mr. Pan, have you finished your work? You have nothing to do. Hey, isn't Ji Yang Gang's family in politics? If this animated picture gets out, it will be a disaster. Putting down the work in his hands and seeing that everyone was still working hard, Luo Wen also took the Apple phone handed over by Pan Shui as a way to relax himself. Ji Yang Gang stood in front of a red Ferrari, just like the second generation rich man on TV. The key point is that his head was enlarged and matched with dynamic effects. Can you afford it? He looked arrogant and domineering. If the picture was not from the student WeChat group, Luo Wen would have thought that someone was deliberately targeting Ji Yang Gang's father, Ji Shengli. Who said it wasn't? I have dealt with District Chief Ji before. He is a very approachable and low-key person. It's impossible for him to be such a person. It's a bit too much for students in the school to make such jokes. I'm afraid that this matter will spread and have a bad influence on him. Well, if possible, you'd better say hello to Ji Yang Gang's family. After all, the root of the problem is still with Ji Yang Gang. Luo Wen was also speechless. Shouldn't students focus on learning? Why do they have nothing to do every day and make such news out of nothing? Wait a minute, Teacher Luo, why don't you say hello to District Head Ji? How come you live upstairs and downstairs? It's like you know each other. You are the class teacher and I'm the class teacher. I told him, isn't it your mistake at work? Besides, didn't you show it to me? If they want to fight, of course you should do it. Maybe District Head G will remember you as a favor. You have a bright future. Yes. Hey, Teacher Luo, thank you. You are worthy of being a great man. Everything you say is different. Hey, Teacher Pan, have you finished your own work? You are taking a break here. Many parents are still waiting for the results of the grades. Can you hurry up? Li Meng, with a look of disgust, stood up to get a glass of water. Seeing Pan Shui and Luo Wen whispering there, she felt a nameless fire in her heart. Teacher Luo is excellent and worth learning from in every aspect, but she is too cold, not at work, but in her emotions. She is like an ascetic monk who doesn't allow strangers to approach. It's really unfair that she is so beautiful, but he doesn't even care about her. Teacher Luo, you have worked so hard. You have finished your work, and you still have to help us. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid we would all have to come to work together tomorrow. It was dark outside, and it was actually not even 7 o'clock. The main reason was that tomorrow would be the beginning of winter, and it would get dark earlier. There were 2 exams on Monday and 2 exams on Tuesday. According to the normal process, all teachers had to come to correct the test papers and record the results on Wednesday. However, Luo Wen started marking the papers during his break yesterday. It was basically 1 paper per minute, and the second person who reviewed it couldn't find any problems. After the exams on Tuesday, the students happily went back to enjoy their vacation. The teachers also felt the surprise that they had to complete all the data statistics in advance. It seemed that they could also take a day off. It's okay. Senior year is already a heavy workload. I usually work 2 days less than everyone else. I'm very happy to be able to help everyone. Teacher Lee, is your side almost done? What a good man. Hearing Luo Wen say this, the teachers in the office couldn't help but be deeply moved. Teacher Luo is not only hardworking and selfless, but also comes early and leaves late. When there is an exam, he is also willing to help with overtime. Is there any good person more worthy of everyone's admiration than him? Well, now we only have Chinese left. Teacher Pan, why don't you hurry up? I'm coming. Aren't I speeding up? Really, I don't even let people breathe. Shuxiang Yalan, building 516. Kao Ying's house is dark. Obviously Song Kyan and Kao Yingzi are at home, but the mother and daughter are lying on their own beds, crying silently, and no one cares about each other. The pot and stove are cold, and it seems that they haven't even eaten dinner yet. Kao Ying's secret base at Kao Widang's was still discovered by Song Kyan. It was there that Song Kyan witnessed a shocking scene. The supplements she prepared for her daughter every day were actually taken by Kao Widang's fiancé. The single mother who endured the rumors and raised her daughter alone collapsed. After a big quarrel, she overturned Kao Ying's Lego model. The relationship between the two of them also dropped to the lowest point in history. Although Song Kyan endured the chill and prepared breakfast and dinner for Kao Yingzi under the guidance of Tong Wenji. After all, Monday and Tuesday were midterm exams. However, such bleak scenes and scenes like today have actually been going on for several days, and Song Kyan was not even in the mood to prepare dinner today. Meanwhile, at Ji Yang Guyang's home on the first floor, Ji Yang Guyang finished his exams and hurriedly took the broken mobile phone parts to various mobile phone stores to inquire about the possibility of repair. Ji Shengli and Li Yujing, who felt that Ji Yang Guyang had grown up, were comforted and satisfied, but they didn't know that a greater test was waiting for their family. Hey, District Chief Ji, right? Ji Yang Guyang's test results are out today, and he has improved compared to the last time. Yes, it should be the change in family atmosphere that has affected him. That is, I have something to tell you. You'd better talk to Ji Yang Guyang to see if there is any hidden truth in this matter, and talk it over calmly. What? Ji Shengli's face turned as hen. Looking at Ji Yang Guyang's dynamic picture, the aura of the superior was as cold as a storm. What's wrong? Look at yourself. Look at what your son has done. Hey, this is not just my son. He has nothing to do with you. Oh, there's nothing wrong with this picture. It's probably just a joke between classmates. Is it necessary to be so angry? Li Yujing, your awareness is a little low. Can't you see the point of the picture? Ferrari, sports car. Here's my son. Chapter 317 Memories of Youth. Ms. Liu, your condition is hard to say for now. From the preliminary diagnosis, there is a lump, at least lymphadenitis, but other possibilities cannot be ruled out, and further examination is needed. Click. Oh, is that so? Li Yujing had a bad feeling in her heart. Doctors always report good news but not bad news, and they are 70% sure of what they say. Just a preliminary examination. Her face has become heavy, as if her condition is not as simple as the doctor said. You are 45 years old this year, right? Click. The doctor was recording the medical records on the computer while asking about Li Yujing's personal situation. Oh, right. Well, I'll write you a prescription. Go do a mammography first. The results will be out in 2 days, and I will notify you by text message after the results come out. Click, click. Thank you, doctor. Holding the medical record book, Liu Jing was usually calm and composed, but at this time, her face was a lot more nervous. Mammography. Oh, I hope it's not a serious illness. By the way, 2 months ago, I came to the planetarium to meet Mr. Luo Wen Luo. He said at that time that if I had any abnormalities in my body, I could contact him. Could it be that he had already seen something at that time? No, it's impossible. Although he is already a professor at a young age, this is too incredible, right? Teacher Luo, do you think that every mother only wants her child to be admitted to a good university and then she will be satisfied and feel that she has achieved her life goals? Crunch, crunch. I'm eating delicious sweet and sour pork ribs. Kaiao Yingzi was still venting her loneliness. The family was lifeless every day, and the food standard was also plummeting. These were secondary. The main thing was that Kaiao Yingzi stayed in her room, knowing that her biological mother was in the room opposite. But when they met like this, they were speechless, and no one spoke to break the deadlock. The cold atmosphere was really sad. Oh, you're the only one who can understand your situation. No one can feel the same for you. However, you hid it from your mother and wasted your ambition on your father, and you even deceived her. If it were me, I would probably be angry too. I don't want this to happen. I'm 18 years old. She controls me at home and outside. She controls me in everything from what I eat to what I drink, what I use, and what I play with. I know my mother loves me very much, but this kind of love suffocates me. I can't even breathe. Snap. Putting down the chopsticks in her hand, Kaiao Yingzi's eyes were filled with moisture, and it seemed that her emotions were fluctuating greatly. Luo Wen handed over a napkin. With a gentle expression on his face, he was also somewhat helpless. Originally, he could have a day off at home after the exam. Unexpectedly, in the early morning, the pitiful Kaiao Yingzi rang his doorbell alone. Not only was her face pale, but her eyes were also full of bloodshot and tears. She didn't eat dinner yesterday, and didn't eat breakfast today. Her mother Song Kan didn't know where she went alone. Woo, puff, while wiping her mouth and blowing her nose and tears with a tissue. Kaiao Yingzi's face gradually became rosy, and she was no longer shivering with cold. Teacher Luo, can you tell me about your story? When you were my age, were you also suffocated by your parents' control? No, you are so independent and good at studying. I believe your parents must be very open-minded. Shasha, leave it there, let me clean it up. Drink a cup of black tea to help digestion. Luo Wen handed the little girl a cup of not too hot black tea, and picked up the plate of food specially made for Kaiao Yingzi, and brought it to the kitchen. Then he turned around, and sat on the sofa opposite Kaiao Yingzi. My business? I'm afraid it doesn't sound that stress relieving, and my parents are not necessarily more open-minded than yours. Haha, whether it is the identity setting of this world or the family in the main world, Luo Wen really has nothing special to praise to outsiders, or Luo Wen's biological parents are really too ordinary. No, I want to listen. Teacher Luo, you tell me. Yingzi, the teacher asks you a question. If your parents are exchanged with other families you envy, would you be willing? My parents are very ordinary. They are neither highly educated nor rich. They are just ordinary farmers. What? Farmers? Aren't they high-level intellectuals? Kaiao Yingzi opened her eyes wide, and it seemed difficult to accept such a huge contrast. A double doctor, a university professor, is actually a child of a farmer? Then, Teacher Luo Wen, what kind of changes and tests does he have to go through to transform into such an excellent level now? Isn't this too fake? Oh, it's really incredible. Sometimes I don't believe it myself. Luo Wen laughed at himself. If it weren't for the system, maybe he really wouldn't have the identity and status he has now. He would never be able to talk about this with a little girl who simply worships him in another world. However, I don't spend much time with my parents. Most of the time, I'm alone. Compared with the heavy love of my parents, it makes people breathless. Do you really want to experience smile-only experience again? As he spoke, Luo Wen seemed to be trapped in memories. However, the warmth and beauty at the corners of Luo Wen's mouth made Kyo Yingzi realize an emotion called longing. Yes, Mr. Luo's family is gone. No matter how outstanding and successful he is, it seems that no one can share with him or be proud of him. Your mother is sometimes very extreme, and the teacher can also vaguely know the pressure you are facing. But as a student, your first priority at the moment is to study. If you think about the love your parents give you from another perspective, why don't you think of it as a kind of enjoyment? This is a selfless family love. Apart from your parents, no one else can treat you like this. But teacher Luo, haven't you always been very good to me? You also help me with my homework, and every time you come, there are delicious food and drinks. Kyo Ying's face showed a puzzled expression, and her mind was surging with thoughts. I don't know what Luo Wen wanted to express to her. I'm a teacher, and also your neighbor. Of course, my kindness to you is not completely unrequited. You admire me, and I enjoy this feeling. Your mother always comes to thank you with gifts, and invites me to your house for dinner. This is also part of the reason. The most important thing is that I'm good to you, because I'm investing in your potential. Of course, you trust me, and regard me as a mentor and friend. This is also one of the reasons why I treat you equally. This has my mother always done so much for me behind my back. Also, what did Mr. Luo mean by potential and investment? Kyo Yingzi didn't quite understand the first part, but when Luo Wen said he considered her a friend, she was overjoyed and felt particularly excited. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 318, The Impulse of Youth. No, don't rush to blame me. The main reason is that my identity is quite special. I believe that the children were just joking and had no ill intentions. It's just that the matter has now reached my leader, so. Ji Shengli looked anxious. He had just taught his son a lesson the day before, which cast a shadow on the father-son relationship that had finally eased. He originally thought that the picture incident, which was just a prank spread within the school, was over and done with, and he didn't want to say anything too harsh to the child. But today, as soon as he arrived at work, his superiors went to question him about this matter. That's why Ji Shengli showed up at Fang Yuan's house in a hurry. Because Ji Yang Guiyang broke Lin Lei's phone while playing basketball, Fang Yifan made a spoof gif of Ji Yang Guiyang driving a luxury car at the beginning of the school term. It was originally just a small matter of wanting to show off in front of classmates by returning to school. Now it has immediately become a big event that Ji Shengli violated discipline and was investigated by the organization. Although the Ferrari belonged to Liu Zheng and had nothing to do with Ji Shengli, he did not manage his children well because of his poor parenting. Fang Yuan's head was also buzzing. He met Ji Shengli, his childhood friend, by chance and happened to live upstairs and downstairs. The difference in status was huge, and Ji Shengli was not affected by these external things. He, Fang Yuan, and Kyo Weidang, as the father of the child, were also residents of the community. They could get together every Monday, drink a little wine, play basketball and chat together. What a happy and perfect thing. Now because of Fang Yifan, this kid, making jokes, isn't this killing people? Just as he was about to call Fang Yifan out to question him, he remembered that today was a holiday and they had gone out to play. Then how do you think we should resolve this matter, old G? This matter can be big or small, what do you think? By the way, that car above isn't yours, right? Oh, what are you thinking? My annual income can't even afford a wheel. How could I buy such a luxury car for Ji Yang Guiyang? This car belongs to his uncle. He has made some money from his business in the past few years. Let's not talk about this for now. This is what I have an idea. Tomorrow, I will ask the two children to write an apology letter each. I will then ask the teacher and the principal to be witnesses and apologize face to face to clarify the matter, the process and the reasons. This way, there will be a written record, and I will explain to my superiors, and the matter should end here. Yes, old G, you are right. I will wait until the children come back, and then I will ask Fang Yifan to write a self-criticism. I'm really sorry to have caused you trouble. We will fully cooperate, okay? It would be great if the problem could be solved. Fang Yuan was relieved. However, when she heard that she had to write a self-criticism and that the teacher and principal had to testify, Tong Wenji began to get nervous. She was a little worried that such a bad record would not be included in the child's personal file. Okay, that's all I have to say. By the way, Wenji, don't worry. After this matter is over, I will give the school a heads up and will not punish the child. I hope so. On Thursday, in the school courtyard, everyone was looking at their own grades on the bulletin board. Ji Yang Gang, Fang Yifan, and their parents appeared in the school meeting room with serious expressions. Present were their class teacher Pan Shui, grade leader Li Meng, and the school principal. Come on, stand here. You two should explain the matter briefly in front of the parents and teachers, and then read the inspection carefully. Once you realize the seriousness and adverse effects of this matter, everyone will not hold on to it. Li Meng led Ji Yang Gaiang and Fang Yifan into the meeting room. Before entering, she also explained it in detail. Whether it is for the school or for Ji Shengli, who is sensitive about his identity, this is the best solution. Hey, Dad. Hello Uncle Ji. Hello Aunt Liu. Okay, since everyone is here, let's have a simple meeting today. Regarding the matter of the spoof animated picture, the cause and effect of this matter, I believe that the parents present should know it. Our school also hopes to give a serious and clear result as soon as possible. But as a teacher, we don't want to expand the impact of this matter. After all, it concerns the future of two children. Fang Yifan, who stood honestly, seemed to know that it was because of him that everyone was so nervous. First, when he entered the door, he took the initiative to greet and call people. Now he was holding the inspection with a face full of deep regret. Looking at Ji Yang Gaiang again, he twisted his neck, but his eyes were full of disdain. He disdained his father's responsibility to him, disdained the school's fuss about this matter, and was full of contempt for Fang Yifan beside him. Since he dared to do it, he must be brave enough to resist to the end. Wait, I will let you see how he slaps these adults in the face. I'm Ji Yang Gaiang from class 2, grade 3 of Chunfeng Middle School. Today I want to apologize to everyone here. On the return to school day at the end of August this year, because the school gate was not closed for maintenance, I drove my Ferrari and had a physical conflict with Fang Yifan, which seriously affected the reputation of comrade Ji Shengli. This, Yang Gaiang, hush, stop reading. Ji Shengli, who was sitting there, had a face that was almost black enough to drip ink, and Liu Jing opened her mouth to stop him, but it was obviously too late. I haven't finished reading yet. I want to solemnly apologize to comrade Ji Shengli. I'm sorry for leaving me alone at home for so many years. I'm sorry that you hardly educated me and finally raised a bastard son like me. I'm sorry that you never had me in your heart for so many years, only the official position. Yang Gaiang. Shut up. The atmosphere at the scene was awkward and solemn to the extreme. Except for Ji Yang Gaiang and Ji Shengli, the father and son, the rest of the people seemed to be irrelevant guests who were just accompanying. Ji Yang Gaiang, come on, give me this manuscript. The apology letter still needs to be revised. The principal stood up and started to smooth things over. Even Li Meng and Pan Shui, who were sitting next to them, felt that something was wrong and agreed. Ji Yang Gaiang, listen to the principal. You. Swish. Tear, no need to revise it. This is my most sincere words. Gurgle. Fang Yifan, who was standing next to Ji Yang Gaiang at this time, pinched the profound self-criticism written by his father and couldn't help but swallowed quietly. This season's Yang Yang is really reckless. No, he is really fierce. He even dares to go against his own father and in front of the teachers and the principal of the school. He is strong, so strong. Phew, I've memorized all of this. Even without the manuscript, I can recite it by heart. I want to give Ji Shengli a sincere apology, because what I, Ji Yang Gaiang, did should not become a stumbling block in your bright career path. Ji Yang Gaiang, you've gone too far. Old Ji, I asked you to come here to apologize, not to accuse me. Recite one more word. Ji Shengli's entire aura changed, and his mighty power made everyone present silent, not daring to interrupt him. Unfortunately, there was one person who was the exception. Not only can I recite one word, I can recite 100 or 1000 words. Yang Yang. As a mother and Ji Shengli's wife, Li Yujing had been in a bad mood these 2 days. She was still worried about going to the hospital, and now she had to worry about the increasingly tense relationship between father and son. She was so tired, really tired. I'm sorry that you asked me to come to school to review, when I didn't make any mistakes. I'm sorry that you tried so hard to please me, just to complete the political task of returning to the family required by the unit. I'm sorry. Swish, snap. It was quiet, and this slap also interrupted the trust and good beginning that Ji Shengli and Ji Yang Guiyang had finally established in the past 2 months. Hey, old Ji, hey, old Ji, how can you hit a child? Uncle, Ji Yang Guiyang is already 18 years old, you can just say a few words, why do you still hit him? Fang Yifan, don't interrupt. Fang Yuan was also panicked. How could the apology and clarification meeting turn into a family internal struggle meeting? The key is that at this time, Fang Yifan, this kid, jumped out. Okay, you want to punish Ji Yang Guiyang, right? Come on, if you have the ability, give me one too. This, Ji Yang Guiyang is fierce, strong and fierce, and Fang Yifan is a fierce in the pure sense. However, in response to these 2 sentences, Ji Yang Guiyang looked at Fang Yifan with a look of disdain that turned into a hint of appreciation and meaningfulness. Are you satisfied with the result of today's apology? With a pat on Fang Yifan's shoulder, Ji Yang Guiyang ran out without looking back. Hey, Yang Guiyang. No, Ji Yang Guiyang. Fang Yifan, go catch up with him. In addition to the awkward atmosphere at the scene, everyone's hearts were full of sympathy for Ji Yang Guiyang's original family. Unexpectedly, as the second generation of an official, he also had his own pressure and worries. And Ji Shengli himself seemed to be stunned suddenly. Looking down at his palm, he couldn't believe that he had slapped Ji Yang Guiyang hard. Chapter 319 Small Team. Friday, another working day. It was still the high school teaching building full of books and a little tense atmosphere. Hey, Mr. Luo, you were not there yesterday. You didn't see the hot scene. When Pan Shui entered the office, he immediately found Luo Wen's side, with a face full of desire to share. Luo Wen came for 2 consecutive days on Monday and Tuesday. In fact, it was not just for everyone to have a day off, but also the contract agreement of working 3 days a week could not be broken. Yesterday, what happened yesterday? Ji Yang Guiyang and Fang Yifan's parents came to the school. Luo Wen looked calm, as if nothing could arouse his interest, and as if everything was within his expectations. Oh, how do you know? Did someone tell you in advance? Pan Shui looked unconvinced, and turned his head around, to find the most likely target, to leak to Luo Wen in the office. Teacher Chen, Teacher Zhao Zhang, Li Meng. Oh, then it's true. Don't doubt who told me. Didn't I ask you to call District Chief Ji on Tuesday? Given his political sensitivity, he would solve the problem as soon as possible. The only major events that can happen in the school are between parents and students. News about faculty and staff is unlikely. Aren't these easy to speculate? Ah, awesome. Teacher Luo, I think you shouldn't just be a physics teacher. You should go to the criminal investigation brigade. You will definitely become a legend in the police world. Okay, stop flattering me. Did their 2 families have a conflict yesterday? Fang Yifan's personality is unlikely, but Ji Yang Guiyang and his father don't have such a deep relationship. There is even a deep sense of distrust. Did they fight? Isn't this reasoning ability too strong? Teacher Luo, with just a few words, you sound as if you were there and saw it with your own eyes. I admire you. I really admire you. That's right, Ji Yang Guiyang was slapped by his father in front of me, Teacher Li Meng, and the principal. They really didn't give Ji Yang Guiyang any face at all. I felt the pain of that slap. Hello, Teacher Luo. Well, in this class, we will review magnetic fields and electromagnetic induction. Fang Yifan, here, Teacher Luo. Why didn't Ji Yang Guiyang come today? This seems to be the first time someone dared to be absent from my class. Although Luo Wen's face was as gentle as ever, and his tone did not contain much anger, the students in the audience suddenly felt as if a thorn in their backs, and could not help but begin to worry about Ji Yang Gyang. Oh, Ji Yang Gyang is in a bad mood these 2 days. He has conflicts with his family. I guess he is going to adjust his mood. Otherwise, I will call you to ask. No, let's do this for now. Let's go to class. Luo Wen turned around and began to draw a magnetic field diagram on the blackboard, and combined with electromagnetic induction, he simply and efficiently explained the connection and relationship between them. Is Teacher Luo angry? I don't know. With the situation today, Ji Yang Gyang is probably going to be in big trouble. This is the first time I have seen Teacher Luo start writing on the blackboard without saying much. Shh, don't talk. Be careful that Teacher Luo hears it. Luo Wen was concentrating on the podium. As for the whispers behind him, he raised the corners of his mouth and did not mean to express any opinions. Angry? Why should he be angry? It was just the first time that there was an absence in the class, so he just asked a question. These children are really complicated. Bang, Song Kyan, I really came to apologize to you this time. Please accept it, and don't blame Yingzi, okay? Kyo Widang, who was begging desperately, was apologizing to Song Kyan, who was indignant, for providing a secret base for himself and slowing down Kyo Yingzi's learning progress. He bought her favorite durian and begged her for it. Kyo Widang really tried his best and was about to succeed. Unexpectedly, Song Kyan, who was always fair and just, drove Kyo Widang out directly in order to maintain her image as a strict teacher in front of her one-on-one students at home. Perhaps her inner dissatisfaction was relieved after a few days, and with the performance of Kyo Yingzi and Kyo Widang, it was possible that the two of them were fighting at the door. Luo Wen was holding 2 supermarket shopping bags in his hands. This was a habit he gradually developed. Living alone, he actually didn't need these, but Luo Wen specially prepared them to avoid accidents like Kyo Yingzi and Pan Shui. Okay, I completely understand what you mean. You just want Yingzi to relax, right? Don't worry, she is relaxed, and I'm not angry anymore. Bang. With a stomping of her foot, Song Kyan vented all the frustration and negative emotions she had suffered in the past few days on the sole of Kyo Widang's right foot that was blocking the door. Hiss, ouch, it hurts. Bang, the door of room 403 was slammed shut, leaving only Kyo Widang, who was jumping around funny with his feet covered outside. Mr. Kyo, what are you doing? Teacher Luo just got off work, right? Oh, you bought so many vegetables. I heard from my Yingzi that it was all thanks to you the day before yesterday. If it weren't for your help in taking care of her and guiding her, she wouldn't have dared to talk to me so soon. Kyo Widang heard someone talking to him from behind and immediately put down his foot that he couldn't rub. He replied seriously, and when he saw that it was Luo Wen next door, his face showed a hint of embarrassment and gratitude. Oh, it's okay. You're both a teacher and a neighbor. It's just a small matter. However, I think you still need to communicate well with Teacher Song about your relationship. The conflict between parents has a bad influence on children. You have to reflect on it. I know that too, but some things are really not as simple as outsiders see. Is Teacher Luo free now? Otherwise, I'll go to your house to bother you. Oh, it just so happens that I think it's necessary to talk to you about Kyo Yingzi's grades this time. Please. On the weekend, some people are burying their heads in reviewing, as if they still got the first place after the exam, which has nothing to do with him. Some people, however, have sufficient reasons, claiming to combine work and rest, and playing PUBG seriously. Some people are bored, and write and draw at home, and their minds are not on the test questions in the book in front of them. There is no way. Huang Zitao, like Kyo Yingzi, received a temporary notice from Luo Wen. He has something to go out today, and tutoring homework will be postponed to Sunday. Ding, ding, the phone vibrated with a new message. The game screen was automatically paused and switched to the information interface. Hey, what's going on? I'm fully equipped with a level 3 helmet, level 3 armor, level 3 bag, an M416 in my hand, and an AWM on my back. It's already the finals. What message did Ji Yang Gyang send me? Fang Yifan died at the last moment of eating chicken. The instigator was the troublemaker who joined the WeChat chat group in the past 2 days. Among them were Huang Zitao, Kaiao Yingzi, Lin Lia, and Ji Yang Gyang. I don't know when they formed such an independent small team. Hey, cousin, where did Ji Yang Gyang go this time? He didn't go to school, and he didn't return to the family business. Is he really planning to give up on himself? Hey, wait a minute, he sent his location, Kempinski Hotel. I'll go, sure. Lia, don't study anymore. It's not good if your brain is overloaded. Ji Yang Gyang asked us to go out and play together. Are you going? Is it fun? Fun. Chapter 320 Looking for Crazy Parents. Professor Luo, we finally meet. It's an honor, an honor. Luo Wen was wearing casual clothes and a pair of classic short boots. He was out of tune with the white-coated researchers around him and the serious and empty environment. However, with his serious and indifferent expression, no one dared to look down on this director of the institute. This Spark Institute was funded by Luo Wen personally, and a special unit was responsible for planning and construction. In terms of confidentiality level, it is the highest level in the country at present. It can be said to be unprecedented. The confidentiality system is at the national level, but the institute is private. Equipped with the world's most advanced laboratories, chemistry, physics, optics, and energy. It is said that the cost price of the experimental equipment equipped by these countries alone exceeds tens of billions, not to mention the researchers selected from the best of each unit, and the larger production and operation space. By the way, there is also a closed launch platform in the heart of the valley. According to the size of the evaluation, an aircraft carrier can be parked smoothly. Academician Legion, you are an old senior and a scientist respected by the world. Logically speaking, my institute cannot invite a great man like you. I want to know why you took the initiative to ask to join. Postdoctoral fellows, doctors, masters, and graduate students, the entire Spark Research Institute, almost 3,000 people were sent here. Most of them have already arrived in advance, and the remaining people will be sent in one after another within 3 days. And those selected by Luo Wen for artificial intelligence are basically those who are not so conspicuous in the list, but have solid abilities and skills. Those who are just filling in the numbers, superficial articles, and can't settle down have been eliminated. However, Luo Wen took the time to come here today because of the white-haired old man standing in front of him, or the highly respected Academician Legion, the founder of the domestic nuclear physics discipline, and under his leadership, the construction of the first 4th-generation nuclear power plant reactor in China was completed, allowing the country to catch up with the latest technology generation gap in the world. The reason why Luo Wen asked such a question was that, although he had roughly guessed the answer in his heart, he still wanted to confirm it again. After all, Luo Wen was very concerned about the difference between being open-minded and willing to learn, and taking advantage of one's seniority. Although I'm very old, I dare not forget the mission entrusted to me by the country for a day. Can the nuclear fusion reactor you submitted really be realized? The trembling Li Jinxu has spent his entire life on the research of nuclear physics. More importantly, he is an older generation of scientific researchers who grew up in a special era. Few people can truly understand the stubborn and special feelings he has for the country and the nation. Now, he can see that the country is ahead of the world in all aspects, and may return to the peak of history. He is sometimes excited and sometimes nervous. He hesitated again and again. For him, the empty titles such as academician and founder are far less meaningful than witnessing history with his own eyes. Haha, Mr. Lee, when you appeared here, you already had your own judgment in your heart, right? Well, haha, Director Luo, why bother to go around with an old man? Answer me directly, just to satisfy my curiosity, can't you? Pure enthusiasm for science, in the turbid vitreous body. At this time, there seemed to be a light called expectation burning. Yes, it is indeed necessary to boost everyone's morale. Otherwise, how can we get motivated? Luo Wen, who was muttering to himself, if he had not made a decision, it is estimated that he would not have driven more than 100 kilometers to the mountains in the wilderness because of the influence of one person. Of course, he made this trip to accomplish something. Creak, beep, Mr. Lee, please follow me. Luo Wen turned and entered the elevator, and outside the central control room at the top of the institute was the space launch site that Luo Wen had been thinking about. Confirming that the ground had been hardened and the main structure of the structure had been reinforced again, he then walked towards the parking lot below with Mr. Lee, who was full of longing and fiery eyes. In the trunk of the silver-white Bentley Continental, there is a nano-alloy safe. At this time, several gadgets are quietly lying inside, including nuclear fusion reactors, energy inverters, nano-robots, and artificial intelligence programs. But before the daylight, Luo Wen came to the Spark Research Institute, which was designated as a military restricted area and strictly guarded in the hinterland of the mountains. After showing his face in front of all the researchers and showing several black technology products, he not only impressed many prodigies present, but also gained a white-haired assistant, Li Jingsu, a scholar. When Luo Wen is not in the institute, he will be the general person in charge here, executing all work arrangements on his behalf, and supervising the process of converting various technical data into reality. When it was dark, Luo Wen also drove his sports car and leisurely returned to Shuxiang. The entire institute has been taken over by Spark at this time, and the artificial intelligence program has also been left inside. Luo Wen always plans before doing anything, and never makes only one-sided preparation. Li Jingsu is a great patriotic scientist, and Luo Wen also believes that he is a trustworthy elder, after reaching a preliminary agreement. However, Luo Wen will not trust a person easily, nor will he be easily hurt or betrayed by a person. Spark can improve the research efficiency of the institute, and she is also a confidant entrusted with important tasks by Luo Wen. Hurry, the children are at the Kempinski Hotel. Let's go now. Why did they all go there? Fang Yifen's parents, Ji Yangyang's parents, and Kaiao Ying's father all came out of building 516 in a hurry and walked towards the community parking lot with anxious faces. Hey, wait, Song Kyan is still upstairs. Wait for her and go together. Huata, Kaka, what's the matter? Have you found where they are? Teacher Luo is not at home. I knocked on the door for a long time, but there was no movement. This is really frustrating. Song Kyan called all the numbers she could and contacted everyone she could think of. She originally thought that her Kaiao Yingzi was probably hiding in Luo Wen's house, but now it seems that is not the case. Found it, they are all at the Kempinski. Liu Jing just called Ji Yangyang's uncle and said that Ji Yangyang swiped his credit card there, so they should all be there. Let's go then. Kaiao Idang, drive there. Why are you still standing there like an idiot? I'm waiting for you. The panicked parents didn't realize how unusually quiet the house was until dark, and when they opened the children's door, they almost broke out in cold sweat, soaking their underwear. Fang Yifen, Lin Lia, Ji Yangyang, Huang Zitao, and Kaiao Yingzi were all gone, as if they had made an appointment to run away from home together. Fortunately, they finally confirmed one thing just now, that the children did not run away from home, they just went out to play together. Chapter 321 How to Relieve Worries? Wow yoho. The magnificent 5-star hotel. I don't know if it's a coincidence of time or the arrangement of the plot. The empty swimming pool has no outsiders. 5 boys and girls wearing swimming caps, either just a pair of swimming trunks or wearing split swimsuits. At this time, they are having a great time. During the day, they play games, sing snacks, and party in the luxury suite. After dark, they first took advantage of the wine from dinner and came to the heated swimming pool for a water frolic. Waiting to be exhausted, everyone had a great time. When sitting on the sofa next to the swimming pool with a bath towel, Fang Yifen, this kid, didn't know how to deceive the inspection of the hotel staff and took out a few bottles of cocktails and 2 bags of potato chips from a bag. Come on, let's have another one. Hey, cousin, give me a glass too. Lin Lia, like Huang Zitao and Kaiao Yingzi, is probably not good at drinking. At this time, his face was flushed and he couldn't control his speech and became loud. Lia, have you drunk too much? Why do you feel your body shaking? Haha, yes, Fang Hao, look at Lear. He is not so lively and active at ordinary times. Hiccup shhhhh. Keep your voice down. Drinking is not allowed in here. Don't make noise. Creak, puff, spit. Fang Yifen's ability to control the situation is very good, and it is easy to open the bottle cap with teeth. Gulp, gulp. Fang Yifen exudes heat from the paper cup brought from the water dispenser and pours 3.8-degree cocktails into a row of glasses without blurring his eyes or shaking his hands. Come on, Yingzi, this is yours. Taozi, this cup, the rest are ours. Cousin, thank you. Hiccup. The first cup was directly snatched away by Lin Lear, who impatiently poured it into his mouth. It seems that Fang Yifen brought him out to play today, and it seems that a switch in him was turned on, and his behavior is particularly abnormal. Ji Yang Guiyang paid for all the consumption, but it seemed like Fang Yifen's home court had become his. However, Ji Yang Guiyang sat aside, still looking happy and enjoying himself, and didn't seem to mind Fang Yifen stealing the show. Come on, this first cup, I want to toast my best buddy Yingzi. I didn't take good care of you in the first and second years of high school. No, I didn't help you much. Hiccup. Hey, it's the last year of high school. We are all doing well. I wish you all can get into a good university. Let's have a drink. Children, teenagers, and minors have a dream since childhood. That is what they want to do when they grow up. They will learn from their parents or the adults around them to communicate with others, have their own circle of friends, participate in group activities, and try many new things. Although they may not be as smooth as adults, or so good looking, but in the process of imitation, they are also constantly learning and growing. Perhaps, this is the instinct that all creatures are born with. Come on, cheers. Burp, cousin, no more, pour me some more. Oh, is Lear drunk? The more he drinks, the more addicted he becomes. TSK, Lear, you drink like water. Drink slowly. Come on. Cousin will pour you some at the end. Don't get too drunk, or I'll have to carry you back. Come on. Cheers. There are no parents, no adults, no exams, and no studying. Here, there is only happiness and excitement. Huang Zateo and Kao Yingzi are also heroines who welcome everyone. Shh, keep your voice down. Don't attract people here. Come on. Cheers. Gulp, gulp. Ha hiccup Ji Yang Guiyang. You should drink more. Why? I know you have a lot of resentment in your heart. Oh, I don't have any resentment. I'm just very dissatisfied with him. Everyone knew that the he Ji Yang Guiyang was talking about must be his own father Ji Shengli. If there had not been a conflict between father and son, why would he skip classes and then drag everyone together to get drunk to relieve his sorrow? However, they themselves have their own troubles. Otherwise, why come here together to die and accompany a gentleman? TSK, let me tell you. Hey, Ji Yang Guiyang, you know, sometimes I really hate your pretentiousness. Just say what you have to say. Staggering, Fang Yifen himself seemed to be a little drunk, shook his head, and his feet in flip-flops stopped shaking from side to side. Hey, let me have some more. Taking advantage of this opportunity, Lin Lear grabbed a bottle of cocktail and started drinking by himself. Hey, Fang Yifen, you are wrong. I usually hate those who like to pretend the most, because my dad likes to pretend the most. Look at him, isn't he an official? He has a big belly every day. I tell you, every time he makes a phone call at home. Hey, let me imitate you all. Leia, drink less, otherwise you won't be able to go home. Although the two girls also put down everything and wanted to devote themselves to it, Fang Yifen still tried to take care of them within his ability. For example, when pouring wine, the boys had one glass, but they had half a glass. While they were chatting, Ji Yang Guiyang probably got excited too. He picked up the water ball at his feet and wrapped himself in his bath towel. Then he held his head high and officially started imitating. Look, ahem, pay attention. Hello, yes, hey, remember, you must take this kind of thing as a warning in the future. Haha, double chin, similar, too similar. This Ji Yang Guiyang is too similar. Usually, Ji Yang Guiyang is seen as a cold and aloof male god. Unexpectedly, today, after letting go of his self-restraint, he is also a real funny master. In this regard alone, He and Fang Yifan are on par with each other. Applause, applause. Clap, clap. Okay. Come on, Ji Yang Gang. Just treat us as your dad today. If you have anything to say, just say it out loud. We promise not to talk back. Burp at this time. The atmosphere of the 5-member team has reached a climax, and a group of flustered parents, under the guidance of the hotel staff, came to the door of the swimming pool. At a glance, there were green plants behind the glass door. Their own children were inside, having fun. Ji Yang Gang. Hey, old G, wait a minute and see what the children are saying. It's a good opportunity for us to listen to how these children usually view us as parents. Ji Shengli was about to rush in, but Fang Yuan reached out to stop him. As for the children's biological mothers, at this time, they also stopped and listened quietly to the words from the bottom of the children's hearts. Ji Shengli, why are you so arrogant? Even when you meet your classmates and childhood friends, you still act like an official. If you get promoted in the future, you will be so proud of yourself. Haha, let's do this. I will learn from my dad, and you learn from your dad. Let's do it again. Come on. Ji Yang Guyang's catharsis not only made the teenagers laugh, but also the parents standing in the corner seemed to be touched suddenly, with thoughtful and funny expressions on their faces. Chapter 322 The Growth of Youth. Woo woo Luo Wen, this should be the place. Teacher Song Kan seemed to be talking about the Kempinski Hotel when she called just now, right? Click, click. Pan Shui, who looked nervous, although he was still a golden bachelor, loved his niece Huang Zitao to the extreme. From his daily life, we can also see the traces, full of affection and care. He didn't see Huang Zitao all day today, and he was still very anxious. He called Luo Wen's cell phone, but it was out of service area. He was almost crazy looking for him outside. Fortunately, when it was evening, good news finally came. Song Kan and the others found them. When they went downstairs, they happened to meet Luo Wen, who had just entered the community. When they appeared in the Kempinski Hotel, Huang Zitao in the room was crying very sadly in Song Kan's arms. Fang Yifan, Kao Yingzi, Lin Lia, Ji Yang Gang also seemed to be infected by the emotions on the scene, all with empathy on their faces, crying. This. Taozi, stop crying. Uncle is here. You scared your uncle to death today. Teacher Luo, where were you today? We couldn't get through to you on the phone. You scared us to death. Pan Shui rushed over to hug Huang Zitao and looked her up and down, asking about her well-being. Kao Weidong and Song Kan also supported Yingzi, who was crying, and greeted Luo Wen, who came in. I have something to do today, so I went on a long trip. Did the children drink? After some communication, it turned out that on the day when Luo Wen was not at home, a group of naughty children came out in groups to relieve stress, playing games, having dinner, swimming, and drinking. They didn't say hello to their families, nor did they leave any messages. They almost scared the parents to death. However, this is not a bad thing. Through this incident, the children released their inner pressure, and the parents also understood what deficiencies they had in the process of getting along with their children. They only cared about their physical growth and learning progress, but ignored their inner feelings. It can be regarded as a blessing in disguise, and both sides have grown up. Buzz Luo Wen was driving in the front, and Huang Zitao in the back seat had leaned on Pan Shuo's arms, and fell asleep calmly and peacefully. Luo Wen, do you think I, as an uncle, am a little too derelict in my duty? Tao's parents went to Africa for aid construction, and handed her to me before leaving. Everything seems fine on the surface, but privately, the child has indeed grown up. She has her own thoughts and ideas. In addition to study and life, I seem to have neglected that she has entered puberty a long time ago. Pan Shui, who was nagging, was like a parent of a child. The expression on his face was sometimes annoyed, sometimes nervous, and sometimes nostalgic. Old Pan, this is not something that a grown man like you can consider. You have your own job and your own life, and you are still a bachelor. How can you guide and understand the thoughts of an adolescent girl? Luo Wen vaguely thought of two girls in another time and space. Oh, no, it should be mothers now. However, his mood and state, when he was worried, were somewhat similar to Pan Shui at this time. Hey, Luo Wen, then what do you think? Should I hurry up to find an Aunt for Tauzi? Maybe it can help? He really has a unique train of thought and is talented. It was already 9 o'clock in the evening and the traffic on the road became sparse. Hey, Fang Yuan, I just heard Song Kyan say that teacher Luo has been reviewing homework with Yingzi and Taozi. What do you think? Why don't we send Leah and Fang Yifan to his house? He saved Fang Yifan last time, so he has a special connection with our Fang Yifan. Wenji, it's not that I don't want to. It's mainly because, when I went to the school to thank him last time, I found that teacher Luo was a selfless person. I didn't even repay his kindness last time, and now I'm going to cause trouble for him. I really don't know how to start the conversation. After Tong Wenji glanced at Fang Yifan and Lin Lia who were sleeping soundly in the back seat, her face was full of helplessness at this time. She was not very worried about Lin Lia's academic performance, but mainly for Fang Yifan. The reason she said she sent them both was just to keep them company. This time, I heard that the average science score of the sprint class and the basic class has increased by 20 points, and it's all because of the contribution of the physics teacher Luo Wen. This proves that Mr. Luo's teaching is really good. I'm afraid that, even if I spend money to enroll in a cram school, it won't have such a good effect. Being able to review his lessons at Mr. Luo's house like Yingzi and Taozi, perhaps Fang Yifan's grades in other subjects will also improve by leaps and bounds? That's what I said, and I understand the logic, but, well, I'll go up and discuss it with Mr. Luo tomorrow to see if he can agree. Ji Yang Guyang's parents who live on the first floor have the same idea as Fang Yifan's family. They also learned that the change in the academic performance of their two classes in the midterm exam was because of Luo Wen, who lives in 404 of the same building. They wanted to ask for Ji Yang Guyang to go to Luo Wen's house every weekend to help with his homework, but Ji Shengli's identity was sensitive. Besides, Luo Wen had his own personal life and arrangements. Kyo Yingzi and Huang Zitao did it because of Pan Shui and Song Kyan, but they had little dealings with them. Now they came to their house rashly. How should they ask for this? Old G, you say. I'm just giving an example. If our Yang Guyang is sent to teacher Luo's house to review his homework, will it help his academic performance? Moreover, did you notice just now in the hotel that the children seem to respect Luo Wen very much, and it is a kind of respect and love from the heart. Li Yujing is conscious as a woman, and she has dealt with Luo Wen once before, so her mind is also active. Moreover, she will be in and out of the hospital frequently soon, and she will definitely not be able to take care of her at home. She must make plans early. Well, Yang Yang's grades are indeed disappointing. If he wants to get into a better university, he still has a long way to go. It's just that Mr. Luo Wen's identity is not that simple. I'm afraid that, if I go to his house, he will misunderstand me and think that I'm taking the opportunity to get close to him and curry favor with him. Sigh. Don't think about it so complicatedly. Besides, it will have a bad influence if you go there. So, let me talk to him? That's fine. For Yang Yang's study, sometimes we really can't be so indifferent and ignore the responsibilities of our parents. Ji Shengli knew Luo Wen. After all, as the district chief, it was impossible for him not to know the terrifying power hidden behind this person. Or what he knew was just the tip of the iceberg, not all. There were documents above requiring that no one should interfere or disturb Professor Luo's life and work, and all needs must be fully cooperated. However, he didn't seem to be a loner. He was very gentle and got along very well with the neighbors around him. Since they were all neighbors, Ji Yang Guyang was a student in his class. This didn't seem to be an active violation of the orders of his superiors, right? Chapter 323 Ranking of Results. What, Teacher Lee, are you saying that, although Fang Yifan's test scores have improved this time, they are still in the bottom 15%? Is it still impossible for him to get into undergraduate studies? Boom, boom, boom. His heartbeat was like a clock, getting heavier and heavier. He had just woken up early in the morning and said that he would let the two children sober up and have a nap and then go out to the mall to play happily together at noon. Now, Tong Wenji's good mood disappeared. What's wrong? Why do you look so lost? Fang Yuan was wearing pajamas, holding a spatula in his hand, dressed like a house husband. When he heard Fang Yifan and Teacher Li, he put down his work in the kitchen and moved closer to Tong Wenji. What's wrong? Hey, Teacher Li Meng just called and said that Lear is still the first in the whole grade and ranked in the top 10 in the district. Oh, that's good. The key is Fang Yifan. Although his total score has improved a lot compared to the previous class placement test, the ranking has not changed much because everyone's scores have improved. His foundation is too poor. According to his current score, he still can't go to college. 477 points, still can't get into college. What is this? The internal competition of the college entrance examination? Then I'll go to Teacher Luo now and ask Fang Yifan to review his lessons as soon as possible. Wait, are we going to celebrate outside? Go, what the hell? I can't even get into college and I'm still celebrating. You know everything. What are you waiting for? Hurry up. Wait a minute. I'll go change my clothes and we'll go together. Wenji. Yang mother? Who is this? At 10 o'clock in the morning, Fang Yuan and Tong Wenji were dressed neatly, holding two exquisite gift boxes in their hands. They just pressed the elevator button, and when the elevator door opened, Liu Jing was holding something and seemed to be looking for someone to do something. Hey, did you also receive a call from the teacher at school? Well, yes, although our Fang Yifan's score has improved this time, it is still not enough to enter the university. Isn't it going to visit Mr. Luo Wen in 404? I heard that Taozi and Yingzi are reviewing with him, and we also want to. Oh, me too. Ji Yang Guiyang has made obvious progress in comprehensive science, but his grades in other subjects have not changed at all. His father and I have no choice but to try our luck. As parents who hope their children will succeed, they have no other thoughts at this time and are suspicious of each other. Instead, they work together and come to the door of 404 with trepidation. Click, Mom, I'll have lunch at Mr. Luo's house at noon. You can go to class at ease. Ding, Yingzi, I'm here. Are you out yet? Wushuang Zateo, who was sending WeChat messages, and Kaiao Yingzi, who was carrying a school bag, also appeared in the corridor at this time. What is this? You can come, but let me make it clear first, I can't guarantee their grades, but I will tutor them carefully in their studies. You can come every weekend morning and afternoon. Yeah, Kaiao Yingzi, who was about to say a few good words, had already high-fived Huang Zateo and cheered. Thank you so much, Mr. Luo, it's really a big trouble for you. Yes, Mr. Luo, you said you are doing this voluntary help. I don't know how to thank you. Fang Yuan, Tong Wenji, and Liu Jing, at this time, also felt relieved, full of gratitude and thanks to Luo Wen. It's okay. They are all my students. As long as they are willing to learn, anyone can come. There is nothing to thank them for. By the way, where are they? Are you the only ones who came here? Luo Wen took the initiative to teach in school because it is the teacher's duty. He treats all students equally and teaches everyone. As for this kind of free and voluntary after-school tutoring, Luo Wen actually has his own standards. At least these few people are all candidates for Luo Wen's Keishan plan, so he agreed to it. It's not certain about others. Yes, Fang Yuan, go down and bring Fang Yifan up. This child is heartless and doesn't care about his future at all. He has such a bad score in the exam, but he still has the mood to sleep in at home. Tong Wenji is a man of action. After hearing Luo Wen's reply with her own ears, she pushed Fang Yuan and asked him to call Fang Yifan up. Oh, yes, then you sit down first. I'll go down and ask Ji Yang Guiyang to hurry up. Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Luo. Liu Jing stood up, but she swayed slightly. Her face changed, and she suppressed the tension in her heart and walked out of the living room with a smile on her face. Her physical condition seems to have worsened again. The dark hair between her eyebrows became thicker and thicker. Luo Wen didn't want to be too deliberate. He had already reminded her once in a friendly way at the planetarium last time. He just hoped that this generous middle-aged woman would remember his instructions. Boom. Luo Wen was making lunch in the kitchen. The fragrance spread everywhere, making people's appetites open and their mouths water. He seemed to enjoy the process of cooking very much, and he also liked to share his cooking skills. Yingzi, you are so mean. You have been taking extra classes at teacher Luo's house quietly, and your grades, which were already higher than those of a poor student like me, have reached a new level. The key point is that teacher Luo has such great cooking skills, but you didn't even think about sharing them. Alas, the world is going downhill, and people's hearts are no longer the same. Fang Yifan, have you completed your task? If you are making trouble here, teacher Luo will come to check at 12 o'clock. Be careful that he will punish you. Huang Zitao put down the tablet in his hand, with a look of taboo on his face. Although Luo Wen is a gentle person, if they don't complete the tasks assigned to them on time, or even do a sloppy job, he will really punish them. For example, they can only eat half a bowl of rice, or he can eat what he cooks alone, and they can eat what they cook. There are punishments, isn't it? Is Mr. Luo so old-fashioned? I thought he adopted the principle of voluntary learning just like in school. TSK, Fang Hao, you probably don't know what it means to cherish. Besides, you will know Mr. Luo's punishment later. Kaiao Ying's face was also meaningful to Fang Yifan now. However, lunchtime was about to come, and she was also writing the final lab report on the tablet. That's right, their homework review was not based on the content of the textbook, but on the tablet, given to them by Luo Wen. They conducted various strange experiments, mock exams, and even, sometimes they played games to pass the levels. It's just that the levels are no longer simple and violent fighting and killing, but require the use of the brain, answering questions, disarming mechanisms, and even extremely precise control capabilities. Okay, time's up. Hand the tablet to me first. Those who have finished can eat, and those who haven't finished can do it themselves, or come back after 2 p.m. For the 3 new students who joined on the first day, Luo Wen set the teaching difficulty to a very low level, making sure they could complete the task smoothly. Otherwise, the temptation of delicious food would hardly serve as a punishment. Chapter 324. People's hearts are unsettled. The college entrance examination is the best way for all students to enter a favorite university, but it is not the only way. For example, art examinations, winter camps of various universities, and independent enrollment can advance to university campuses in advance. Of course, a ruthless person like Luo Wen, who holds 20 recommended places in top universities, is the first time in the history of this world. It is a tacit public information among faculty and staff, and it is still a secret that no one mentions at the student level. Who doesn't have 1 or 2 high school students with connections? If everyone knows about it, they will have to enter the internal competition stage in advance. Besides, the initiative is in Luo Wen's hands. If he is offended by leaking the news, wouldn't it be more costly? In this case, it is better to urge your own children to perform well in private, especially in Luo Wen's physics class and evening self-study. You must be in high spirits. Just like Pan Shui, he always played with Luo Wen and got along well with him. Sending Huang Zitao to his house for a view, Pan Shui always felt a sense of security. As for the others, he could not consider them for the time being. He could only hope that the remaining 19 places would be cherished by other students. Leia, I heard that your phone was broken. Lin Leia, who had his head down to eat silently and never participated in what others said, raised his head in surprise and looked at teacher Luo Wen in front of him. He met his deep eyes that seemed to be able to see through people's hearts. Teacher, is he concerned about me? Yes. Leia was watching us playing basketball at school before, and I accidentally smashed his phone. Teacher Luo, can you think of a way? I have asked many people, and they all said there was no way. After nearly a month of studying together and getting along in life, Luo Wen and the 5 adolescent boys established a special relationship of both teacher and friend, intimacy and mutual respect. Crunch. Compared to interrupting and joining in, Huang Zitao, Fang Yifan, and Kaiao Yingzi quickly finished the sweet and sour pork ribs in their mouths, and then cast their expectant eyes on Luo Wen's face, hoping to hear a happy good news. Where is the phone now? Can you bring it to me to try? If the memory chip is still there, I should be able to read and save the data inside. Is it really possible? Mr. Luo, the phone is at my house. I'll go down and get it. Swish, Ji Yang Gang. who looked anxious, had always felt guilty towards Linlia because of this matter. When he heard Luo Wen say that it could be repaired, he put down his chopsticks and ran downstairs without waiting to finish lunch. Hey, Ji Yang Gang, you should finish your meal first. My cousin's cell phone. It doesn't matter if you're late. Swish. Although he said that, Fang Yifan didn't hold back at all. After losing a strong opponent at the dinner table, the delicious food on the table was disappearing visibly. Fang Hao, you're too mean. Ji Yang Gang has been feeling uncomfortable because of Lia's cell phone, but you've almost finished all the food by yourself while he's away. Haha, don't worry, he doesn't like to eat spare ribs. Didn't I save the shrimp and chicken wings for him? Teacher Luo, can you really help me fix my cell phone? Really? Swish, woo. It's not that Linglia doesn't believe Luo Wen, nor is it that his emotions and psychological defenses are too fragile. It can only be said that in his world, the relationship between family members is particularly important, and the cell phone is filled with Linlia's deepest love and attachment to his deceased mother. Phew, a child who lives under someone else's roof and has to be careful everywhere. Luo Wen couldn't help but feel sympathy for his experience, although Luo Wen's own situation, at Linglia's age, might not be as good as his. However, Luo Wen has long passed that stage, and now he is different from the past. His heart has long been strong, and he has become a solid backing that people can rely on, and a strong person who can protect his family and relatives. Reaching out his hand and gently patting and caressing Linlia's back, Luo Wen seemed to see himself who had been wandering alone in this crying boy. If crying makes you feel better, then cry. Tears do not only represent a person's weakness. Similarly, through such emotional catharsis, you can re-examine your own emotions and make yourself stronger. Earlier, you still have friends like us, your aunt, and teacher Luo. We will definitely take good care of you in the future. Woo. Thank you. Thank you. Sizzle. A puff of green smoke rose from Luo Wen's studio. The mobile phone parts on the table were cleaned, retinned, replaced, and assembled together again by Luo Wen. Beep. The screen lights up. Music starts. Wow. It's done. It's done. Teacher Luo is awesome. He can even do this. Lia, take a quick look. Is the phone the same as before? Teacher Luo, I can't believe you can even repair a phone. The onlookers who dared not to make a sound finally cheered loudly at this time. In fact, they are no longer unfamiliar with this room. Some of the magical functions inside, as well as Luo Wen's teaching, that goes beyond the book from time to time. They also seem to gradually understand something. This, repairing a phone, why does it feel similar to their previous electronic simulation game? Could it be that repairing circuit boards, changing functional modules, and quickly troubleshooting are also real application skills? Swish, swish, yes, it's fixed. It's exactly the same as before. Haha, woo woo. Linlia, who was crying with joy, took off his glasses while checking the gallery and video files on his phone and wiped his unstoppable tears with his sleeves. Huang Zitao and Kao Yingzi, the two girls, had carefully handed over toilet paper from the table, and Ji Yang Gang and Fang Yifan smiled at each other because the estrangement caused by this incident seemed to disappear instantly at this time. Hey, Mr. Luo, your operating table, how did I find that it can automatically transform, and it can automatically synthesize whatever you need? Not only Fang Yifan discovered it, but Ji Yang Gang and others also calmed down from the joy of Linlia's recovery at this time, and put their doubtful eyes on Luo Wen's face. This operating table is one of my research results. I call it a nano operating table. In addition to the special metal texture of the whole table, it is actually assembled by nano robots that are invisible to the naked eye. Hiss, no way. It feels smooth and looks nothing special. It's made of nanorobots. He touched it and smelled it. Fang Yifan stood on it with Luo Wen nodding. Bang, bang. It seems to be very strong and has no intention of falling apart. Haha, Luo Wen got all the black technology from the system's rewards. He understood it thoroughly and realized it by himself. It doesn't seem too shameless to say that he researched it himself. At least, Luo Wen didn't spend the trading points to buy the finished product directly from the trading system. Chapter 325 Test. Teacher Luo, many students have recently started to seek other ways to go to college. Don't you have anything to say? Why are you still so relaxed, as if you don't care at all? In the office of the senior year group, Luo Wen was still recording something on his laptop. The clicking sound was crisp and particularly rhythmic, and Pan Shui, who opened his mouth, felt as if he had just said something nonsense. In the process of growing up, everyone is constantly making various choices, carrying heavy burdens, or giving up on themselves, or going with the flow. And there are the senior year teachers who lead students to face the college entrance examination at the most important turning point in their lives. Sometimes I really want to be perfect, so that all students can stand out and get into the university of their choice. Unfortunately, the development of the entire society does not only require countless college students, but also more majors in positions, and fresh blood with special talents needs to join. The road to finding the meaning of life is not only completed in the university stage. Click. The knocking hand stopped, and Luo Wen also looked at Pan Shuo's face, with a gentle and calm expression on his face. Teacher Pan, even I sometimes can't expect that every one of my students is a pillar of the country, and every one of them is a person who has made great contributions to society. What we can do is to watch them grow up, watch them become people who are beneficial to society, and watch them become some negative examples. We just hope that the ratio between them will develop according to the best expectations. What do you think? Yes, compared to Luo Wen, Pan Shui is just an ordinary Chinese teacher. He doesn't even have full confidence in the undergraduate passing rate of his class. How can he influence other things? Rely on Mr. Luo's excellent teaching ability and Mr. Luo's recommendation quota? Forget it. Everyone will be responsible for their own life. Pan Shui himself is like this, and so are the students in his class. Keeping a normal heart and accepting your own destiny and future is the right answer. Teacher Luo, I understand. You continue to be busy. I have to go to class. Ha. It was another Saturday, and it was still the warm and extraordinarily relaxing tutoring class, which was Luo Wen's home on the 516th floor. Squeak. Luo Wen was preparing lunch for several children in the kitchen. In the firelight, the aroma of food filled the air. At the long table in the living room, several people were discussing the experimental data in their hands and chatting. Hey, Yingzi, my dad recently contacted a teacher from the Academy of Fine Arts for me, saying that he would help me take a look. If I have talent in this area, I think the art exam is also a good way to go to college. Fang Hao, you are not right. Teacher Luo is so attentive in tutoring our studies, and also provides meals. Why don't you know how to cherish it at all? Besides, there is still some time before the final exam. How do you know that, if your academic performance is not good, you can't successfully enter the university? Kyle Yingzi and Huang Zitao were surprised, or they didn't understand Fang Yifan. Of course, in front of such academic masters like them, it is really difficult to understand the true thoughts of a poor student and the huge psychological pressure he faces. Studying depends on talent, especially Fang Yifan, who has felt his huge improvement during this period, but it is not what is in the senior high school textbook. If he takes the exam again, he will not be able to suddenly jump up a lot. It is not that he blames Luo Wen for not teaching well, but that the content of his teaching is too targeted and professional, and it is not used to cope with the college entrance examination at all. They actually enjoy the feeling and atmosphere at Luo Wen's house every weekend, 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon. In addition to this time, Luo Wen not only has no requirements for them, but also allows them to play and relax, and sometimes he will join in personally. It was not until this time that they realized that excellent people are excellent, no matter what they do. Luo Wen always has countless secrets and skills. Several boys and girls feel that there is nothing that teacher Luo does not know. Yes, Fang Yifan, when my uncle and I talk about teacher Luo, he always seems to be hesitant to talk. Anyway, it doesn't matter whether you can get into the university of your choice. Remember to study hard with teacher Luo. Why are you always indecisive and still thinking about singing and dancing? Besides, can you sing and dance to the level of teacher Luo Wen? Hey, why do you two always pour cold water on others? Yes, of course I can't sing and dance to the level of teacher Luo, but how can anyone compare to teacher Luo? Besides, although my mock exam results have improved, they are still not enough to get into the second tier university. Since I can only choose an unsatisfactory university in the end, I might as well pass the art exam and go to one of the top art schools. Fang Yifan also wanted to experience the beauty of a university with a strong learning atmosphere like Linlia, Kao Yingzi, and Huang Zitao, but he really had no interest in the knowledge points in the books and the exam content. If he used real cases that were both entertaining and educational as the questions for the college entrance examination like Mr. Luo Wen did, he would be very interested. But wouldn't that be a problem? Swish, swish, art exam. Fang Yifan, I think you should think carefully before making a choice. Moreover, I think Mr. Luo seems to have his deep meaning for our teaching content. I always feel that it is not that simple. Besides, it seems that the art exam is not something that can be passed just by taking the exam. The admission rate is not much lower than that of the double first-class universities. You should collect your mind and concentrate on following Mr. Luo's learning goals. Turning the gel pen in his hand, although Ji Yang is the one who interacts with Luo Wen the least, he is similar to Linlia. They both have their own personalities. One is restrained, and the other is introverted. They are not very good at expressing their emotions and thoughts. But Ji Yang is the most alert and sensitive one among them. It may also be because he was born in a high-ranking official family. TSK, Ji Yang, did you hear some gossip from your dad, or discovered some secret about teacher Luo Wen that we don't know? Otherwise, why are you so sure about him? Cousin, I think what Ji Yang said makes sense. Although teacher Luo Wen is usually low-key and gentle, I can also feel that he will not accept everyone who comes to him to review their lessons. We should cherish the opportunity to tutor in his house and concentrate on studying. The poor students cannot feel the true core of Professor Luo Wen's content. Only a god of study like Linlia, within the limited range of test scores, has experienced an endless amount of advanced knowledge. He wants to study with Luo Wen and absorb more advanced knowledge. This is a kind of enjoyment, but also a kind of self-consciousness from the heart. Hey, but seriously, which university do you want to apply for in the college entrance examination? Kao Ying's heart is set on Nankai University. Huang Zitao is thinking about Tsinghua University. Linlia doesn't care. Anyway, his grades are good enough to go anywhere. As for Ji Yang and Fang Yifan, they just want to fulfill their parents' requirements and just need to get into college. They don't care where to go. Haha, where to go? Luo Wen just smiled knowingly at their whispered discussion. If nothing unexpected happens, they can't go anywhere. It's time to eat. It's time to hand in homework and get ready for dinner. Yeah, here we come. Here we come. Teacher Luo, we're here to help you. Haha. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.